was a background dancer, dancing for a dollar. Pull up, brother, if you wanna holler. Pull up, 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 hey, pull up, hey, yeah. Let it plug, it's really just a chicken sandwich. Brother need a hug, why you so emotional? But acting like a
Emotional.
pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Jog here, homie, go and get your steps in. Taco Bell best friend, heavy reputation. We don't know you in the end. We don't know you, don't you? Pull up, you gon' see, man. It's a shameless plug. Big church, dear kind, but he think he a plug. Don't do that, don't do that. If you gon' pull up, pull up, pull up to my job. Young brother, then bring the snack wrap. Pull up.
Check, 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 check. What's up with my video? What's up with my video? Yeah, okay, we playing. Back up, because I feel like you touching wires that you don't need to be touching.
No, I thought that maybe I should check to see if you were okay. You know what's hard about being the smartest person in the world? Everyone else being too good. Yes, way to go. You got that one. Whatever this creature is, it's our job to secure it, neutralize it,
Test this out,
over the source of its power.
but it's not working well.
Okay, that's not what we want right there.
Piece by piece. See what makes it tick.
Why is it taking my audio and not my video?
They know what kind of like.
All right, here we go. We're back.
You should drink water.
All right, well,
Not help.
good evening, you guys. This is another episode of 8090. This is episode, what episode is it? I gotta check my thing. This is episode 56. We're back. Took us a little while. We haven't been gaming lately. We've been locked in, we've been focused, we've been doing other things, you know what I'm saying? But we're back. It's that day, man. Today we are back.
Spaceman is back.
So, today we're gonna do Mortal Kombat Invasions. We're gonna eat some meatloaf. Some good old meatloaf, some vegetarian meatloaf at that. I know some of y'all wondering, well, how the fuck you make vegetarian meatloaf? That's what it look like. I mean vegetarian meatloaf, no meat involved, buddy. So, what we're gonna do until I'm finished eating is we are going to try to tap this YouTube on, and we are gonna watch this video of this lovely black woman that I know named Dr. Daff. I love her. I love her content. Love watching it. We're gonna watch her white versus biracial versus black woman video, and we are gonna react to it. Like I said, as I said, if you know me and you know me well, send me your videos on YouTube or stuff to react to. You want me to plug your business? You want me to plug your music. You want me to plug? You want me to plug your channel? I ain't a hater. Let's do it. All right, I'll react to anything that's within the guidelines. You told me, I don't give a damn. But let's get to it. Dr. Dav.
Experience, but it doesn't define the whole story. On this episode of The Bridge, white, black, and biracial women come together to talk about identity, culture, and how race has influenced their lives in seen and unseen ways. Welcome to The Bridge.
My name is Anne. I am a white female. I don't identify as a woman. I identify as non-binary, but yeah.
Hi, I'm Kyla. I am white. Hi, I am Lauren, and I'd like to say I'm tan, but I guess I'm pretty white right now.
Hi, I'm Shira, and identify as biracial.
Hi, I'm Deanna, and I identify as black, and I am biracial.
Hi, my name is Kiara or Kiki. I also can't even talk, I'm so nervous. I also identify as biracial, but black and white.
Hi, my name is Lakeisha, and I identify as black.
She looks like her mom's name is Susan.
Hi, my name is Anika, and I identify as black.
Hi, my name is Megan, and I'm a blackie.
If you're a producer who hates AI, this plugin might change your mind. This is Reimagining Co-Producer. You can take any sample you find and flip it into infinite one.
I have had to code switch depending on who I'm around.
Obviously not code switch.
What does that mean?
Right, you haven't had to. If you don't know what it means, you haven't had to.
White people don't
Code
know
switching.
nothing
So
about code switching.
Is basically when you are in certain environments, you have to shift the way you speak in order to be safe, really, in those environments. I particularly find it for myself, for my mother, for other black women that I know. You know, when it's predominantly white environments, there's certain things that you all wouldn't necessarily be able to understand based on what I'm speaking about, and also in order to get to certain levels, right? Like, if we think of PWIs, private white institutions, which I went to at Duke University, I would have to code switch depending on where I was at in order to be taken seriously, in order to be respected, in order to be, received.
I feel like Sam. I've had to code switch even with those close to me, like my family. Like when I'm with like my white side, I feel like I can't act a certain way, or I'd be like considered too ghetto. Or when I'm with my black side, I can't act a little too way because I'm a little whitewashed. It's like I code switched around public, the close ones, my teachers, really everybody.
For sure, like when I first became a realtor, I realized that like I really wanted to be taken seriously as a businesswoman, and I definitely felt like I needed not just like code switching the way that I speak and behave, but seriously, like I used to wear my afro all the time, and so it was like time to straighten my hair like every day to make sure they know that I'm very professional, you know. So.
Yeah, my husband's biracial, actually, so I learned about code switching by kind of watching him with his family versus coming over and spending time with my exceptionally white family, very white Protestant. It was very much like a learning of being like, oh, this is something I've like, I feel like when a lot of white people try to be like, yeah, I code switch, it's like, we have to say like less edgy jokes around certain white people, but like watching my husband like interface between like my family and his family, I was like, oh dang, like that is like a whole other thing that just like I don't think most white people who grew up in like white exclusive spaces can understand.
I think there's something to be said about that, because I actually put yes for this, and I don't think, depending on how you define code switching, technically, yes.
Yes, and you don't
in
know
other
what it
cases,
means.
obviously not in the same way that you ladies have experienced and had to. But if you define it loosely, and it's just like changing your demeanor or your, what's the word for it?
Vernacular?
No, not necessarily. Like just the way that you carry yourself, basically. In academic settings, definitely a little bit different from the way that, I carry myself around my very Southern family, who is very like loose with the way that they speak, and they're not super precise about things, and that's just like the culture that is there. But if you're talking about like specifically in racial scenarios to protect yourself, that's something that I've never had to do, and I don't think like white people generally will ever have to do.
Yeah. I was actually gonna say that.
I'll give her that. She makes sense.
It's become kind of the opposite for me because I grew up like around a lot of white people. It was like I was literally like the only black kid in my class, a black girl, and it was like a black boy. And so probably around middle school, that's when like a lot of like the black families moved to the suburbs of where I lived, and they kind of like would talk about the way I would talk, and they were like, why are you talking like a white girl? Why are you talking like a white girl? And I would look at them like, what? Like, what are y'all talking about? And I would go home, and I would cry, and my mom would be like, you're just educated. Like, you just talk like, like you can read. You know what I'm saying? And I would be like, but they can read too. Like, what even is that? And so it's kind of funny how, like, if I am around, like, white people or people that aren't black, I kind of tend to talk more like urban, you know what I mean? I kind of want to be more black when I'm around white people, you know what I mean? And like, I feel more comfortable that way, but then when I get around black people, I kind of turn into my little self again because I know that they can see through me. You know what I mean? They'll be like, girl, you just learned how to talk like that. Like, nah, you know what I mean? So like, it's kind of the opposite for me. It's a little weird.
I always think it's really interesting that like, speaking proper or like white people is equated with like being educated and being smart. I always hated that. I couldn't stand it. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like, and that's no shade to your mom, but I think that's the way that we are all like brought up to think about it. You know what I mean? Like, but I can't stand that idea because I have family in Mississippi who speak a certain way. I come from Chicago originally. When I was in Chicago, I spoke very differently than I did when I moved to Wisconsin. Because I was in Chicago, I was only around black people. I moved to Wisconsin, I was surrounded by white people. I was like, what is this? And it's like, oh, I got to learn how to talk like them. And in my mind, I really thought I had to speak this way so that I can look and sound educated, you know what I mean? And when I go back around my family in Chicago, it's like, gosh, you talk so white, It's like, oh, she must be so smart now. Like, no, like, I'm smart. I was smart when I was in Chicago. I was smart in Wisconsin. I'm smart when I go to Mississippi. My dad from Mississippi is smart. He graduated too. I just think it's like really whack that we like equate the way somebody speaks with education or lack of education.
I agree. And I've experienced what both you all are speaking about too around my black folk, right? They're like, she's a white girl, or she thinks she's so smart or what have you, and it's very frustrating because it just shows the roots of all of it are still rooted in this, white supremacy. I hate that damn term, but white supremacy around like
me.
For us to even be like, oh, I have to talk black. It's like, what the f does that even mean? And all of us that come from black families, there's different dialects with it, even in our vernacular, and it actually takes a lot of brilliance to be able to code switch and have different dialects, right? Depending on where you're at. So I think we experience it not only in predominantly white environments.
I'm glad they put an older woman on there so she could explain how.
And we dig deeper, and it's like, oh,
this
is still around the roots of white supremacy, of what is acceptable or not, what is considered worthy or not. And it's very problematic and frustrating.
I'm Emily, I'm 36 years old, and I coach and race and train at the Run Club in Los Angeles. You would think as a coach and as a racer that I would know how to get the right shoe, but it took an injury and it took a lot of pain in my foot to reach.
My mom is Southern, and it's so funny that like the way she is, you were like, no shade, but I was like, yeah, no total shade, because I will always be like, Mom, like that sounds kind of crazy too. Like, yeah, I know you're trying to make me feel better, but like that sounds crazy too. And then I started to like watch like more reality shows and watch like the I don't know, 1,000 Pound Sisters for example. And I'm like, wait a second, they kind of talking. I'm like, so that's not a thing. They're just Southern. I was like, so basically the slaves was just listening to them talk. You know what I mean? And their English was broken because they was from England. So it's all like it all goes back to something, and we're just perpetuating something and putting on like this tradition of, oh, that's what that means, when it really just means like everybody's English is broken because we're not even, you know what I mean? Like the way we're talking is like we were supposed to be talking English and English accents, you know what I mean? And it started to get crazy once they moved and, you know, all that stuff happened. So it's just really weird how we like try to say like, oh, it's talking white when it's not even that. Like it's literally white people that talk like black people too in the South. So it's just really weird to me how we do that.
Piggybacking off of what, excuse me, what you were saying and you were saying earlier, for me, so growing up as a biracial black woman, I did grow up going to white private schools. College, I went to Chapman University. I could count the black people on my hand, like honestly. But with that, the #1 compliment I've always gotten is how articulate I am. And people are shocked at how articulate I am. Mind you, I was a communications major, strategic corporate communications, mind you. So yes, maybe I'm a little more quote unquote articulate than most because that was my degree. I got this my whole life, growing up, middle school, high school, before I even got my degree, before I even started my degree. And it sucks that being black is not synonymous with being educated in a lot of people's eyes. Or they'll see that I'm biracial and they're like, oh, did you grow up on the white side of your family? That's why you talk like that. I grew up on both sides, actually. So it's just interesting to see, even the black side of my family will say that as well. But like you said, like, oh, you talk like a white girl. I'm articulate, regardless of the shade. And like you said, there's white people who talk ghetto. Like seriously, it's not about talking white or black. It's where you're from, who you grew up with.
I think piggybacking off of that, I think it's really important for like white people to educate themselves on this thing because it is something that is important. And there's a quote, I took sociology classes in high school because that was my minor. And we learned about this particular sociologist who came up with the term the iconic ghetto. Because like no matter, and this seems like what you're speaking on, is like no matter how educated you are, no matter how much money you make, no matter where you're from, no matter, you know, what your background is, if you live in a wealthy family or whatever, you still have that stigma of like, oh, like she's one of the good ones. You're not like the ghetto ones. You speak proper, like that's. I get where you're coming from, and I see that. Yeah.
Can I ask, actually, in this medium, do you guys feel like you need to code switch in which direction? Like in a space where you know that there's cameras, there's going to be an audience. Like, what are you guys experiencing? I guess like right now.
You guys will probably hear me go in and out of different ways of expressing. Yeah. You know. 1 minute I'll be, you know, I was going to talk about, well, y'all tap in. For me, it's, no, I feel comfortable in my own skin. But I go in and out because that's always been
I was going to say, being biracial specifically, yes, I've code switched in both scenarios on the white side of my family, black side of my family. Even talking right now, I can hear when I sound more academic, if you will, more like an essay, more structured. And then I get more into slang, I get more comfortable. I'm like, y'all, why she said this? But like, I can also go right back to, on this day, at this time. So I'm both, but I just think being specifically biracial is hard because people want to see you as one or the other. You can't just be a mix, and that's how I see it.
I can confidently say that I've code switched every single day of my life, in every single scenario ever. Like whichever benefits me, honestly. You know, it's hard. Like even when you're in like a space where you feel like you're not welcomed, sometimes the code switch doesn't even work. Because you're still black in America.
What are the things that are going to pressure you, like in either direction? Like when you're deciding in any type of conversation, like essentially like which form of language you're going to be speaking, what are the pressures behind you that make you go, I need to be talking a lot more black right now and I need to be talking a lot more white right now? Like how are you deciding?
I'm going to talk super proper if the other person is talking in an accent that they don't talk in. You know, if they're like, hey, Nika, like today I was at work and they were like, hey, Nika, what's up? And they were like saying like, yeah, you know, they were just being so, you know, and I was just sitting there like, yeah, that'll be 64.29. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna be doing that with you. Like, it's kind of cringy to me, you know, because you can tell. when somebody doesn't talk like that.
Right,
You know what I
when it's
mean? And
authentic
it's just so inauthentic and it's awkward. And so I immediately am like, super proper, I'm not even gonna entertain that, you know?
I was gonna ask, because you said that, and I was wondering if you guys ever have experienced like white people adapting their language to talk to you in a specific way where you can tell, because I've seen like skits of this like online where it's like a white person trying to like fit in with, you know, like the black people around them. But that's interesting that you say that, because I didn't know like if that does work the same way, where you have people who like they feel like they have to kind of, I'm assuming it's insulting to have them like bring themselves down, even though, you know, you can be as well spoken as you want to be.
But I feel like I can tell the difference because I have white friends who legit grew up in the hood, and they know to speak the way that maybe I'm speaking because they grew up like down the street, you know? And so in those cases, I don't like to try to shade them because I feel like that's their experience. It's when I walk into a place like that and somebody is like really trying really hard. And I think there is, honestly, in my heart, there is some merit behind the effort. I think in their heart and in their mind, they really think they're doing a good thing. And sometimes it's okay for us to let them know, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that.
Well, so I actually said I don't ever code switch because I feel like I'm the same person around everyone. I have had countless times, like, you talk like a white girl, whatever. But I do feel like if I'm in a car with my black friends, I'll play different music than if I'm in a car with my white friends. And I literally have had a time where my friend like came in the car and she's like, and I literally switched off the rap music and she's like, oh, thank God. And I'm like, oh, oh my God. And that just told me everything I need to know. So yeah, when I'm around certain people, I might be a different type of DJ. I don't know if you guys can relate. Yeah, that's true, yeah.
I'm curious about the white performativity that you were kind of describing, right? Does it, so that way that you're describing, I can imagine, I've seen the skits. Do you guys ever feel like there's an opposite performativity of like more of like the liberal white person who's like really nervous and like doesn't really know how to engage it? Like, do you feel that in a, like you got one side which is like the probably like the old grandma trying to be like, I'm just hip with the youth and I get you, and you're like, please stop. But on the other side, I feel like I see, like I watched with my family, for example, around my husband. It's like they're like nervous, and I'm like, you guys aren't acting like yourself either. Like, what's going on? Like, no, what's going on here? Do you guys ever notice like the kind of the opposite direction of performativity? And is it otherizing?
I find that with liberal white folk, I find it much more often that there is a performativity. Like my roots are from the South, so even when I've been to the South, I prefer you just call me what you want to call me and I know who I'm dealing with, rather than you be in my face and trying to and da-da-da-da-da. And like you were saying, sometimes you can feel when it's like a genuine effort, but it can also feel like manipulation. And it makes me even more distrusting in that sense. And so
I played 90% of the last
I experience more of it from liberal white folk, actually.
I want to switch it up a little bit. So we're gonna go with worded. Oh man, you guys took all my.
If you're looking to learn how to trade, a community is very important. And I've joined previous communities, and teaching wasn't one of the strong points. So I was left with guessing. Trading with the pearls definitely goes down to the basics so that you can understand the process of trading. I don't have to guess. I can access recordings if I miss a laugh. I can also one-on-ones with accountability coaches that gives you an understanding of how trading with the pearls can help.
Yeah, let's not do that. That's what it's doing. It's connecting it to the PlayStation as a headset. That's why. I just had it attached to the PlayStation charge.
What does it look like, if I could ask?
What does that look like?
Yeah, like from the, what are you experiencing?
It could be like, girl, you know. Period. You know, all in the new terms are happy. And mind you, I'm like the elder of this group. So like this, you know, I don't even know what the new slang is right now. But I remember in like way back in high school, and I went to 2 very different high schools. The first one was like much, as far as like the income range was lower. The second high school I went to in the last 2 years was a lot more wealth. And the
Test
way
your
that
might.
the women at the second high school would interact from the first high school. And
See
the approach to it. So it's like, how do I get to know this girl? Oh, so girl, you one of those girls that gets busted, you know?
Test
or,
your
you know,
might.
whatever is the most, or thinking they can say the N-word. And this is something that happened to me.
Party's over, mate.
Because I went to, especially my middle through high school, because it was the same school, it was grade 6 through 12.
Test your
There was
might.
a pretty big divide at my
Excellent.
I had people telling me I was upholding the patriarchy because I wanted to wear a skirt instead of the pants. The pants were just ugly. So like that's all it was. I'm in middle school, like so there was very liberal to that extreme and then very, very conservative to the other extreme because it was a rich white private school. And so with that, with the performativity from white people, I had a lot of people I would grow up with. Instead of just being like, you're a black woman, they'd go out of their way to be like, you're African American. Like they were scared to say black, almost like it was a slur. I'm black. Like you can say that, it's okay. I think that's a good example. Or just people coming up to me and being like, you ready for Juneteenth? What? I don't even have black people asking me that. Like, that's just strange. Or white people trying to be more offended about black topics than I am. So if there's something in the media they feel like I should feel offended about it, how can you word that? I feel like you guys, I can't think of an example.
I feel like when they make non-issues such an issue, it paints black women as being so much more angry than we are. Like, feeding into the hypersensitivity. Yeah, it really just feeds into the stereotype when they're like, they make non-issues issues because it paints us in a bad light and we're not even mad.
I don't know how I feel about whatever her name
It's really tough.
Shasira saying black women like us, because I don't think she ever really lived a black life.
To me, and she's like, oh my God, my daughter wanted to get braids in her hair and get extensions, you know, like you guys do. I told her, you can't do that, you can't do that. I was like,
just like the girl right here in the glasses. I don't think she ever really lived a black life.
You can't put braids in your hair.
Let alone to be on the black side. But she keeps saying, in the sweatsuit, she keeps saying she's...
And I was like, I don't care, you know? I don't think much about it.
She keeps saying she's lived a black life like as a black woman, and I'm like, I'm bothered.
Different privilege.
You're not giving me the same...
Because you can move through different worlds and they'll forget you black sometimes. And so they'll say things that they wouldn't necessarily say.
Yeah, like her though. I like her. She's actually giving good perspective. Them two, I think they're a little too young, or they live in different environments. I've seen her on another video though, the one with the braids, and she really kind of, I can't remember what video it was, but she didn't really have good insight as far as like experience. I think she'll get it with age and she'll understand it later. But right now, she's like on the right track, but she's not all the way there yet. But her, I don't think she ever lived a black experience, to be very honest.
Or say what you need to say because you're more worried about being called racist rather than actually having your hair, then that gets
Hi loves, it's me again, Dr. Michelle Dabb. We've really been enjoying producing these meaningful conversations for the Dr. Dabb Show. However, they are very costly to produce.
Because she looks very, what do I want to say?
And cast and everything that
Pacific
goes on
Islander
behind the scenes.
Asian-y.
If you've been enjoying these thought-provoking conversations and want to support what we're building here, I would love for you to check out my fragrance brand, Fine Forever. Fine Forever is more than just a fragrance brand. It is a celebration of faith, purpose, and beauty. We currently have 3 signature scents, each inspired by a unique Bible scripture and has within its own story and meaning. First, we have 2911, inspired by the scripture Jeremiah 29:11. It's a delicate yet vibrant fragrance that combines lush florals
He ain't gonna
with
give me
soft,
the next time,
sweet
though.
undertones. It is a celebration of gratitude and the blessings that unfold when we walk in
All right, let's
faith.
work it.
Next is Silent Storm, inspired by Psalm 107, 28 and 29. It's a bold, captivating scent that balances strength and serenity. With warm woods and a touch of spice, it's a reminder to find peace and purpose even in life's
I can't. I don't know if I can figure out who he's mixed with. I think he's actually mixed with Raiden, and that's the problem.
It is a fresh and uplifting fragrance inspired
No, he's mixed with Jared.
opens with bright citrus and soft floral,
Jared's.
symbolizing
Isn't
the
it? It
beauty
look like
of
it.
small
I
beginnings
can't tell.
and the
He's
incredible
whooping my ass.
potential within. Every purchase directly supports this show and helps us to keep bringing you meaningful content. So if you're looking for a signature scent that not only smells amazing,
I'll be trying not to
but
give
also
up on
carries
fighting
a
games
message of
because,
faith and
god damn it,
empowerment,
lady, shut
then
up.
visit
Imagine being able to
Just
build
playing
an app with
Dr.
your
Daff.
name
We
on
love
it
you. We just
by
don't want to
thinking
watch
about
the
it.
fragrance stuff
Meet
right now.
Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
Well, because I can't think of one in this moment. And I
God
imagine
damn, he's
maybe
working me out.
there
Why did
must
I
be
press retry?
somewhere,
I wanted to switch.
You know, where it has worked in my favor to be black, but I just can't think of something in this moment at all.
Where? Damn, that's disgusting. She said, I'm trying to think of a time where it worked in my favor to be black.
At my school, it's mostly white people.
And I can't
so
think of
it's
one.
Like, there's only going to be like a black girl to get accepted, and I feel like that was me. But yeah.
I feel like sometimes I benefited from being like half white, and like also to mention like I'm Jewish, so like when I
Yeah,
would be
okay.
around many people, they'd be
Okay.
like, oh no, she's a Jew, like she's cool.
I immediately understand.
Like so, I feel like I was accepted in more places, and like I had like 2 different friend groups, like
I immediately understand now.
kids, and then like
She said she's half Jewish.
both worlds.
Okay,
but I would
that's
also
where that was
be,
coming from.
Like
You're not living a real black experience.
I like hung out with either or, but then also still accepted into both without a problem. So yeah.
I think probably access to spaces and opportunities that I would have never had otherwise. I think even for things like social media content creators.
If they ever go
like
back to revolution.
in my opinion, I think that a lot of the content that I create, because I do like political stuff, I think about like how different my platform would be, or, like, how much, you know, maybe followers or whatever I would have if I wasn't white. And I think that does play, and a lot of it also
That's what I'm
is like
talking about, man.
being a female, looking feminine, things like that, where it's like
Gotta throw the ball. Let's play ball.
specific reason. But I think
Let's play ball, man.
like
Throw the
probably
ball cap on them. Let's play ball now.
job opportunities where I think people there's like a stereotype that comes along with one being educated, and also the assumption that like whiteness equals wealth. And so you get into like these spaces where they're like, there's kids talking about owning toys that I never owned growing up, and I'm like, why do you assume like in those scenarios that, you know, we had similar backgrounds?
She is living a different life, period. Because I can't remember what she said at the beginning, but she made it sound like she doesn't identify as a woman.
It gets you into those types of
And
spaces where
I was confused. I didn't understand what she was trying to say she identified as. I think she has a different.
it's just the assumption.
It's a different view that I don't know.
I don't know.
If
It's
I
like
can relate.
everybody's different nationalities, so it's kind of like I like that better because then it's like more fun. But like one time where I was like, okay, thank God I'm white. I was in a car with my best friend. And
Thank
he was
God I'm white.
And we get
It's
pulled over.
crazy.
I'm driving, and the cop tells him to get out of the car, and we're like, what? He's just sitting there. And he's like, you know, like he's like interrogating him like he's a drug dealer, and I'm like, oh my God, like so it's just like so scary. Just I can't. That's the thing. It's like there's so many like scary situations that people can get in just because they like look at you a certain way. I don't know.
I think I've had a similar scenario. I was like 19 and I was with my ex who was biracial. I think he was Costa Rican, half black, half Costa Rican or something like that. And
so what?
We got pulled over, and in my head I'm thinking like, they're literally like, they called for backup. They're treating him like a criminal, and I was just like, we're just like stupid teenagers smoking weed in the back of my car. Like there was nothing crazy going on. And I remember one thing that was distinct was like, they took him off to like another area of the parking lot that we were in and started questioning him. And they come to me and I think the male officer asked me like, that's your boyfriend, right? And I was like, yes. I was like, I think so. And the question that he asked me after that was everything consensual? And in my head I'm thinking like, I was like, that I don't feel like is a scenario where that's a question they would have asked if he was white. It's not a scenario where like, and after that, I mean, it was in Florida. Weed was illegal at the time. After we got away, like perfectly fine, like the cop was just like, don't do it again. And in my head I'm thinking, the way that this would have gone would have been infinitely different if I wasn't there. And that, I think that was like
what did she say?
Just like really clicked for me. I was like, my world is different from his world in that scenario.
I'll just say that my skin tone worked in my favor when I was younger. I distinctly remember all these high school memories. Don't ask me why high school memories are coming up. My mom and I, and my mother is a darker brown skinned black woman, were at the mall. And we had went to separate stores, and she was like, meet me at this store. And so I came from shopping somewhere, and then I went to go meet her. And when I walked in, the woman came up to me right away and greeted me, and the other woman was following my mother around.
The great Kung Lao.
And so when I went up to my mother, and I was like, she's like, yeah, we're not buying anything.
Let's do it.
You know, and we walked out.
I haven't
and so
used Kung Lao
witnessing
a lot
her
on
be
this
treated
one.
differently than me, based on my skin tone, you know, it's just really understanding that there's different layers of privilege. And once again, it's still related to like the deep indoctrination around whiteness in this country, you know.
I feel safe around the police.
Shit.
If you get
I feel safe around the
just
police.
feel like you can't get a song started. Output's co-producer is very dope. They make it much easier for us.
I'll start by saying that I wasn't always this way. Like when I grew up, I grew up in a really, like literally in a village. It was called like the village of Lansing, and it's right outside of Chicago, and it's like right on the state line of like Indiana. So imagine I'm just like around a whole bunch of white people. And my mom was like part of the neighborhood watch.
You want to play
like,
air
my
games?
neighbor was too, and like we would go to like the little what do you call those? They're like town halls or something, and like the sheriff would be there. He would bring pie. He would be so sweet, and I just remember like you know the police were cool. I remember like being in 5th grade, the DARE program. The DARE guy was super cool. And then it started to switch. You know what I'm saying? As I got older, I started to see more things that were like, okay, this is different, you know? And maybe it wasn't different, and maybe I just had rose-colored glasses on because I was a child, and police maybe are different with children. But yeah, it just was a flip. But it's funny because around like 2020, I remember I was driving with my sister.
And you're also a black woman.
I was driving her car, and her car was like registered in a different state. And, you know, I'm just doing the good old LA 80, you know, on the freeway. But I guess the cop was like, who is this? You know, Texas plate knows how to do the LA 80. So they pulled us over. And my sister, she's so unserious. She's super unserious. We just laugh about everything. And so she's like, he better not shoot us, but we'll both be on the news. You know what I'm saying? Like, we going to be more famous than George Floyd, all of them, you know, because we going to act the fool, you know, either one of us. So, you know, we kind of like took it as a joke. But, like, as the guy's talking to us, he's like, you know, seeing that we are.
She said she grew up around all white folks, and you're making jokes like that. I don't like that. I don't like you, lady. I don't like you just yet.
Serious at all. He's like, why are you guys going 80? And we're like, oh, I'm like, I'm from here, sir. And he was like, oh, okay. You know, he was looking at us crazy. And like, of course we got off and stuff, but like, just the unseriousness that we had. I think it's just because we grew up like friends with the police, you know what I'm saying? But we still had that in the back of our mind, like, oh, we still could get shot though. You know what I mean? So it's kind of scary. And yeah, that's it.
I think this is such an interesting topic because in many ways, like, fish don't know what water feels like. I think they can only really get it when they, like, see somebody else not experiencing it all the time and go, oh, right? So, like, I remember TSA, right? I've been pulled over by the cops, like, not even that many times because I am broke, so there's no world that I'm risking getting a ticket. But TSA, my husband, again, biracial, definitely not white passing, but he's light-skinned. TSA will just, if we're holding hands, like, I remember one time so clearly, an officer pulls him aside to question him, and he's carrying my bags, so because he's a wonderful boy, and I look around, and I'm like, where's my husband at? And then I see him, and I'm like, oh, and so I, like, rush over, and they're like, oh, is this your husband? And I was like, yeah, and they're like, okay, sir, you can go. And I was like, wait, what just happened? And he was like, yeah, you're my bug spray, like, you're just my guaranteed bug spray. And so there's very much, like, this, like, clarity that goes, like, oh, like, I'm literally watching somebody treat you completely different, that if I just walk over, like, essentially my privilege of being white will, like, blanket over you, which is, like, a very, like, weird, like, it's something that you just don't even know how to notice or think about until you witness it. I feel like it's very much like liberal sexism, like the liberal guy who's sexist to women, like, really hard to describe and explain to people, but then you see it and you're like, oh, yes. And I feel like that's very much this, like, law enforcement situation where I'm like, yeah, I guess I don't really ever get tickets. I just, like, weaponize confidence. And I'm like, sorry, I didn't know anything better. And he's like, oh, little girl, and I'm like, and then I get to go, and I'm like, that's not true. Like, my husband's been pulled over, like, twice and got a ticket every single time, right? So, yeah, it's a very sharp contrast to experience.
I do not feel safe around police at all. Like, not even a little bit. Like, I don't trust them, black ones, white ones, because I feel like, unfortunately, they have a code together, you know, or whatever.
Yeah, do you know why I pulled you over? I do not. I truly do not.
Trust none of them. You know, I grew up in Chicago as a kid too, and like I had the whole dare experience when I was little. And you know, when you're like little, 5, it's like, oh yeah, the cops are cool. And then you grow up, and I moved to Wisconsin, Kenosha, Wisconsin, and I didn't see a lot of black people around me.
Do you mind if I search the car? I do.
Because it was a more predominantly white city.
If you have a real probable cause and you get a warrant,
we
then
got
go
pulled
ahead.
over all the time. We got pulled over any chance a police officer got. I feel like when I was in Kenosha, I got pulled over so many times, and I was dating a guy, well, who I'm married to now, but like anytime I was with him, he got pulled over every single go. You know, if I have a guy in my car, like a young man, because I was a dance teacher, and I had to give some kids a ride home sometimes, but some of them are tall, those, you know, kids, and they're in my car, I get pulled over. Who's that in the car? You know, I just feel like I was always getting pulled over by the police for no reason. Not speeding, you know, no expired plates. You know, well, my husband's plates would expire sometimes, but like, but it was always just getting pulled over for no good reason. You know, and one time we were on the highway driving back. Not even in Kenosha anymore, but on the highway driving back from here back to Kenosha for a funeral. And we're already distraught because we're trying to hurry up and get back for a funeral. We weren't speeding, we were just on our way. And we got pulled over on the freeway. And we're just like, what is going on? We're trying to get back before my husband's brother was passing away. And we were just trying to get back before we missed him, you know, but this police officer just didn't care, made my husband get out of the car, made him go sit in his car, and we're just in there, me and my kids are sitting here just like praying, like, God, just protect him, because we don't know. We've watched too many people get shot by the police for no reason, just turning a certain way, like, oh, I fear for my life.
Yeah, we've seen people die in comments.
If you fear for your life by a flint, you shouldn't be a police officer. Go sit down somewhere, go sit at a desk, do something else. I just don't trust them at all. It sucks, but it's true.
I really feel like the scale of racism that the police like portray also depends on the state and if they're considered like a Republican or Democratic state. And you might not understand what I mean by that, but like I feel like when I've been in Republican states, I feel more unsafe around law enforcement rather than like Los Angeles, California, because they have more leeway. Because nobody's gonna check them. Nobody's gonna tell them they're wrong. And their citizens uphold them and give them leeway to make them think what they're doing is right. Like I went to Houston about 2 years ago. I've never had any encounters, any police bad up until then. Like, I was just treated
Los
like,
Angeles is one of the most crooked spots ever. You just live there, so you're probably seeing it different.
I'm Anthony, a fit expert at Roadrunner Sports. I've helped over 5,000 people.
Like a police officer donut shop. So I'm getting my donut, and dude says that I buy all the donuts. And I'm like, yeah, I bought all the donuts. And I thought he was joking. Like, I thought he was like calling me like a fatty. I had like 12 boxes of donuts. And he asked the lady, did she buy all the donuts? That's when I turned and I was like, the hell? Like, I bought all my donuts. So then I walk out, and his partner's just the same exact thing. And I'm like, okay, like this is getting weird. But no, I just thought it was a really weird experience that he like even asked the clerk, like, does this girl like buy all these donuts? I just thought it was super weird.
Did he think you reached behind the counter and took
I know. I was like the only like terrible experience I ever had with like a police officer. It's like,
I've had good
That's
bad
so light.
experiences.
That's so light.
They're really nice and great people, but when I first moved out here, I got a jaywalking ticket.
Yeah, she stuck her.
Wanted
She
to-
stuck her lip gloss
Thank
at
God I
her.
had my dog with me. He's like, we're just gonna take your dog, because I didn't have my ID on me. I was going to like a Starbucks, and I forget what race he was. I think he was a white guy, and he was like so like, you don't have your ID on you. I have to bring you into the station, and I'm like, I have like a dog with me. Like, what am I? It was so scary. Like, it just makes you feel so scared. So I feel like it's also like yes, definitely like cops see race and they just stereotype people, but then sometimes I think that they'll look at women in general.
Even dressed like that.
And like, I don't know, a lot of just men just don't like women, or they just feel like, you know, they want to, I don't know, like just for him to like want to bring me in for not, you know. He was just walking. I don't know. Yeah, he was just walking.
On Donald Trump's interwebs.
It's just a crazy experience.
I think, to speak on that too, I think that there's probably a unique situation, obviously, that black men are in, but probably black or biracial women as well. Like, because I was kind of iffy on this one, where I was like, well, there's been instances where I don't ever feel like I've been uniquely treated poorly when receiving a ticket. In fact, I'm pretty confident there's been cases where, like, I probably should have received a ticket and have gotten away, like you were saying, like, you know, with what should have been a pretty bad ticket. And on the flip side of that, with like policing, it's any time that I've sought out help from a police officer when I was supposed to receive help, and boil that down to probably living in the South too, like for domestic violence or abuse or anything like that, where I've gone to them, I've said, here, I have evidence of this, I am showing you guys what's happening, and nothing's being done. That is times where I can say, like, yeah, I do have a distrust of the police, because they have an interest in protecting not just white people but also men. Like, they have a vested in it, well, specifically white men. And so I think in those instances, yes, I felt unsafe, but not unsafe in the way that it seems like you guys are describing, where it's like an active fear for yourself or the people around you. Do you feel like you, particularly with police, like you guys struggle with like being not just black or biracial, but also like black women or femme-presenting people with the police more so?
I think for me,
Femme-presenting people.
The times I have gotten pulled over, it's been because like my tags were expired. I'm in college. Like I mentioned, I went to Chapman, which is a very white school. The city of Orange is very white. And so with that, yes, I am half white, but nobody looks at me and is like, that's a white woman. So getting pulled over, I definitely would have anxiety. I see that the cop is white. And in those cases, I've code switched, and I think I've used the fact that I'm a woman, but a light-skinned woman, to my advantage to try and get out of those situations, because I can acknowledge that in the black community there is colorism, and I do benefit to a certain degree from being light-skinned. Because in those situations where I did get pulled over by cops, regardless of the race, but in that same general area of Orange County, as soon as I went, oh, hi, officer, da-da-da-da-da, they're like, oh, are you a college student? Oh, yeah, I go to Chapman University. Their tone would switch up so fast because of this association of a school like that, and also my tone. But I would just say I've had bad experiences with cops where it didn't matter that I was light-skinned. I was getting followed around at H&M because they were assuming I was stealing. They had no proof, and the cops are just going based off of what an employee with zero proof is saying. So it really is a hit or miss. You never know, and I think it is probably location-based as well. That makes that experience vary, but...
It's taken my family generations to perfect the perfect curry. Pata makes perfect. Parents, if your
She's got
child
shifty
is
eyes.
Roblox,
I would think she
listen
was
up.
stealing too.
You could qualify for up to $300,000 or more in compensation. If your child was
If your child is on
Do you feel
Roblox.
like, for anybody, do you feel like in those scenarios, being a woman in the presence of a police officer helps, or do you feel like it's like worse, or because you said you don't even trust like black police officers or any of them, but it isn't. Okay.
It's the badge, I don't trust the badge.
And so you feel like as soon as I see the uniform, I know. But do you feel like in those scenarios, like being a woman helped? Like you mentioned, like the voice gets raised, like, oh, I'm just a sweet girl. Like, do you feel like that way?
I think it's a hit or miss, and it depends on the police officer's background. Reason being, so I'm an operations manager at a gym, and I've worked various locations. Anaheim, where it was predominantly Latino. I'm now in an area that's predominantly Asian and white. When I was in Anaheim, I experienced a lot of issues, not just with the male police officers, but also the gym goers. They had that machismo culture going on. So they would talk to me crazy, expecting me to just take it. No, I'm gonna yell back. But that was a cultural thing. That was a Latino machismo background. Same with Italians, they have that machismo culture. Versus, like, let's say it's a different race, white or black cop. Again, it just depends on their background. But if they're more just, quote-unquote, Americanized, if you will, and they don't have that machismo culture, I feel like in that case, I can get away with being the innocent girl who didn't even know it was happening. But I think with those machismo culture, like, instances I've had, it's a power trip. It's a power trip, and because you are a woman and they're a man, they're gonna talk to you and belittle you. So it really just depends.
I have a question for you. Sorry. I'm sure you've seen bullies in school. Maybe you've been bullied. Did being a girl help you with the bullies, or did being a girl ever deter the bullies from being bullies?
That's actually a good question. At least in middle school and high school, I was bullied by girls. So I don't know if that affects it at all. Because for them, they don't care. Because that's fair game. That's their ground. That's their whatever. As far as like young boys bullied, I don't know. I think I probably have a unique experience. I grew up in like Christian private schools. So like those environments, there's a specific bullying that's kind of permissible in a way, but it's like the Christian, like that type of like culture about like if you don't fit the Christian norms, like that bullying is okay. I don't know. That's a good question. I have no idea.
Because to me, like the type of person that becomes a policeman is a bully. Because think about it, you get the power, you know what I mean, and you get to do everything that you were doing in high school. You get to keep doing it. You know what I mean? You're not stopped.
I just have NWAs. The police coming straight running through my head all the time. I don't know. I don't trust them. And mind you, I've had friends that have been married to police officers, you know, and not saying that every single police officer is a bad person. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the system itself is rooted in, I know I'm always like the activist over here talking about the history, but it's true. We gotta know where the roots are. They were slave patrollers. So that's the root of the system itself. And then as far as a woman, no, that man has a gun. He can do whatever he wants to do with me. If we look at statistics around black women or marginalized women, period, and police officers, and how many have disappeared or gotten raped or what have you, I do not trust them at all. And especially, honestly, cops that are men of color. Because I almost feel like sometimes there's like more to prove there in some way. So, nah. Abolish the police.
Can I say something, sidebar? It's kind of crazy. When you were talking just now, you said, I'm so sorry to jump in, but you said you went to a Christian private school. And as soon as you said that in my mind, she said she wasn't rich. She said she wasn't wealthy.
We had like a special. I'm sorry, this is like really off topic. We had we actually grew up like really poor, and for some reason the school let us like go to there for free. I don't know why, or like a discounted thing. It's probably sponsorship. It was something like that. Like we were like in a, I would call it underprivileged or whatever you want to call it, program thing that they just let us like.
Yeah, it just made me think about how easy it is for us to just make an assumption so quick, you know. Then like listen to you say like, oh, you know, all these other white people assume that you must be wealthy like them because you're white like them. But it's to me, as soon as you say I went to a Christian private school, I'm like, I wish I could have sent my kids to a private school. We can't afford that, but I guess I needed a scholarship because you got, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was something,
just that
some
easy.
type of scholarship or something. I don't know. A lot of the kids that did go were like white wealthy kids. I think I grew up in an area where there was also more like Hispanic kids and black kids as well in that community. I can't speak for whatever their tuition circumstances were, but in that area there was a lot of also like white kids growing up. So I did get I would hear these kids talking about like, oh yeah, I got the newest Nintendo Switch and I got the new Wii for Christmas and all this. And I'm thinking like, we can't even afford to go to school. Like, I don't know what what are we doing here? I'm like, I got like.
So, one story about the police. I was in Louisville, Kentucky. I was on winter break from Duke at the time. My boyfriend lived in Louisville. He was from Cairo. I had studied abroad in Cairo. He came back to stay with his brother. We're waiting for the bus. We're leaving the movie theater, waiting for the bus. Him and I got in an argument.
Louisville, yeah. Seen that from Louisville. Louisville.
Area bus stops here. I'm leaning against the wall. He's pointing
Her
at
mother's
me.
name's Susan.
I'm like cussing him back out, what have you. And he like slammed his hand against the wall. From an angle, it looks like he slammed my face. His friend that was with us runs over and kicks him in the back because it looks like he hit me. They start tussling. Next thing I know, 2 guns drawn to their heads. They're on the ground. I'm like, what? It's 2 white plainclothes men yelling police. And now these are 2 African men. Let's be clear, right? And this is wintertime. I'm real light, y'all. Okay? I'm looking like a white girl. So they're down on the ground. All I see is guns pointing to their head. I'm freaking out, and I'm just like, don't shoot him, don't shoot him, don't shoot him, don't shoot him. And they're like, we saw him hit you, da 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 da. And it literally was that I literally thought I was gonna see their heads blow. Long story short, they call for backup, whatever, because they, again, were in plainclothes, throw them into a car, and then they start questioning me. And they're like, we saw him hit you, man. We're taking him in for domestic violence. I was like, he did not hit me. And of course, as you guys can tell, I was like, he didn't hit me, da 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 da. And they were like, book her too. Book her too, disorderly conduct. So they put us in a paddy wagon. Yeah, it wasn't cars. They put us in a paddy wagon and drove us. No, sorry. Put me in a car to take us to a paddy wagon. And in the car, he's reporting in, yes, I have a white female. And I was like, I'm black. White female. I said, sir, I'm black. I was like, oh, that's the only reason why you came out of your cars with your guns drawn, because you thought it was 2 black men beating up a white girl, huh? And of course, they didn't like that. But I'm just saying that, again, when it comes to the lines that get blurred based on skin tone, and I wonder if they would have done shit in off-duty, you know? If it was a darker skinned black woman getting in an argument with a brother. That's all. I thought it was a good story.
I would date someone from the other groups.
What is power? The better question is, how much of it can you handle? In the GMC Sierra EV Denali. Get 2.9% APR on 2025 GMC Sierra EV Denali models.
If your family cheated you out of billions, how far would you go for a little payback?
I'm sure you'll make one.
If I were to prune a few branches of the family tree, where would I start?
Why don't we start with you, since you're the only one who has the same job?
Oh, me, I'm I'm the only one who said disagree? Well.
What you gonna say?
Well, for one, I'm married, but even before I was married, I just was never interested. I wasn't attracted to anybody outside my race. But I got married when I was 20. So, but even in my day now, not that I can look at a white man, Asian man, or whatever and say, oh, he's handsome. Yeah, he's handsome. But they don't make my kettle boil, you know, like a black man does. So it's not that I don't have anything against anybody else. Like, yeah, he handsome, he got muscles, he hot, whatever. But he ain't finna boil my kettle like, to me, what a chocolate man does for me, you know what I mean? And then maybe it just comes back to, like, seeing my father, you know, tall, black, handsome man. Maybe I just wanted something that reflected what I saw of the greatness of my father. I'm not sure if that's all it is or if it's something more or not. But I just never have been attracted to anybody outside my race. Even when I was a little kid, you play spin the bottle, I'm hoping to kiss the black guy over there, not the white ones over there, you know? And I don't know, it could be the way I was raised, grew up around all black people. Maybe it seems scary to me in a way, I'll be honest. There were moments where I thought like, oh gosh, if I have to kiss the white boy over there, I think it seemed scary to me, even though that was my friend. I love this dude, he's my homie, but the idea of kissing him, for some reason, felt strange. So I really don't know, but they definitely have never boiled my kettle.
Boiled my kettle, and ain't nothing like chocolate, though, I must say. For me, it's
Back a little cold, my bad.
That, it's like, I don't know if I'm open to it like I used to be. I have been in
Starting to get in them
different relationships.
Some degrees.
One with a Jewish man, one with a white man. And interracial relationships bring their own set of challenges. And both of them, the reasons why things ended were around them not doing their own work or really being able to get to a place, because they don't live it, right? Of being able to understand the complexities of what it is to be a person of color.
Young brother, bring a snack wrap, pull up.
So, yeah, I don't know if I'd do it again. It's a lot.
No, but it's same, basically. So in my experience, my first boyfriend was Korean, and I think with that, yes, I grew up with both my mother and my father, but I did more so grow up on the white side of my family, and it wasn't until I had my first boyfriend I realized culturally how I was raised. With my mom and my dad, black or white, we talk back to each other. We talk shit at each other. I did not know until my first boyfriend. Culturally, that is not the case for someone who's Asian. Culturally, that's not the case for someone who's Latino or Persian. Been there, done that. And I learned that very quickly. So I would say I'm so open to interracial dating. However, the family dynamic comes into play, and I can't be with a man again who in a situation knows his family's 100% in the wrong and disrespectful, and he won't stand up to them because in his culture, elders are always right. So it really depends on the family dynamic. I think I'd rather be with someone who's biracial like me, because they would have had that mixed experience of not feeling like just one race or the other, or being raised one way or another. They have that.
That talks just like it, yeah.
And then also, I'm 25, I'm about to be 26. Black men were not interested in me until this year. Black men always told me I was too whitewashed, so it's not that I wasn't interested. In my experience, dating black is where I was judged the most.
I have a question for you. Which one of your parents is African American?
My dad.
Okay, I can kind of tell by the way.
Who are you talking about too?
I feel like your ideology can really only come like in the way it came if you have like, you know, like a mother that's not of color, because like in all aspects of like being of color, you don't talk back to
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
I would die.
like that. So,
but that's where I also think my experience is interesting, because my dad is full black, and that's how we to this day talk to each other. We do it with respect, but I am going to argue.
Right, but I'm saying for mothers, a black mother is not going to let you disrespect her, period, or talk back. It really
differentiates if you're like born from the womb of like a woman of color or not. Like it really sets your aspect of like who you are and like how you're treated and like the upbringings, because like you can tell when somebody's upbrought by a black woman.
But that's also why I said in my experience, that's why I've had a discrepancy because of how I was raised. I feel like, I don't like the comment, I'm gonna be so honest. You were like, oh, I can tell that your mom's white.
You don't like the comment?
It's
It's
just, like, a little
true.
rude. We're both biracial, because you said it with...
Oh, don't do
you
that,
said it in a
lady.
negative way.
Using her white privilege.
I do think that came from a place of negativity.
It wasn't negativity, it's more so like, why would you want to disrespect your elders?
I'm always trying to PR, and my running shoe of choice is the Asics Kayano. When I'm looking for anything Asics, Roadrunner Sports is my go-to shop. They know precisely what shoe to put me in to keep me pain-free with all the miles I'm putting in every week.
Don't do that, lady.
I didn't say disrespect necessarily, but I said talk back at each other.
Right, the talk
I was
talk
raised
back.
right.
And I can see how that could seem offensive. Like, and we were actually talking about this out there. I think I asked you, or no, you asked me, and then we said, you know, there is that debate around biracial, and if the mother is white, it's different than if the mother is black, as far as how the child or how the person values different things.
But I will say this is a perfect example of how I just said it's always the black community that judges me the most, and you guys.
But you're
both
taking
just
it
said
as
that.
we're saying.
That is how it felt. I don't think.
I can't tell you how to feel. I'm just saying that.
Right.
From my experience.
Please chill out,
also having
lady.
girlfriends that are biracial.
This is why I didn't like her on the other
mothers that
ones.
are white,
No.
fathers that are black, or mothers that are white and fathers that are African, right? There's different experiences. But I will say most of the time what I do see is a very different approach when it comes to core values, family dynamics, and especially when it comes to respect of elders. That's all. I'm not saying it's better or worse.
Were they
But I'm saying
racist
it's
to you,
definitely
his
different.
family? Yes, because I was not the race that they were. I wasn't Korean, and then I wasn't Persian, so it was a problem.
Do you notice a difference with, I don't
She's
know
talking
if you've
about
dated
dating outside of
men
her
or
race.
women or anything like that, but do you notice a difference, any of you who have dated like people who are white or other races or ethnicities, where like the family structure, like going to dinners with parents or meeting parents or anything like that, where it's worse off if you're
Your
dating a white person
sister's
and their
name is
family white,
Alani,
depending
your
on where they are.
cousin's
Sure,
name is
the South is completely
Leilani.
different than other regions, but do you notice, like, you mentioned like the Korean family or the Persian family was like very racist to you because you're not Persian or Korean and you're, you know, a black woman. Do you notice that's different for like white families dating or like Persian families, Korean families, like?
I haven't had a white boyfriend. I have dated white men before, though, and in my experience, if anything, they might make a comment on like the whole, oh, you're so articulate, but I'm used to that one, if I'm being honest. I am articulate, like I was a
I'm
communications
just done
major.
correcting him. Let him do what he wants to do.
Like I've said, when I've dated black, I'm judged more, just like kind of how I feel right now, honestly. Like I'm a little frustrated, whereas white people have always been very accepting of me, and my white family has always been very accepting of me, so, and never made. Yeah.
Do you guys feel the
snide
same?
comments. But again, I know everyone.
I've dated white. When I dated like a American white boy, it was a little odd because the parents were nice. Like the mom was nice, but the dad, he was just odd, you know, and would say weird things.
Bro,
and
back
said
up
the
from us
N-word
being so
or
loud.
R. And while with me in the room, and I was like, okay, this strike one. I'm about to get out of here. Yeah, and it's just the dynamics with them were weird. Like the boy, he was really like close with the parents, and like he would like still act like he was a child with them, and like, oh, I need this, and they would be like, sure, you know what I mean? Like if I did that with my mama, you know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't gonna happen. She would be like, figure it out, and my dad would be like, figure it out, you know what I'm saying? So it was just a different dynamic. But then I was like, let me try like, you know, like a sub white, like, you know what I'm saying? Like a European, you know, something. So I tried like a Russian Armenian. And I thought that was gonna be something different, you know. And that was kind of the same. It was more of like a, you know, they had like this type of fetish, you know, for black women. And but this guy, his parents didn't want him to be with a black person, so he had a child with a black Latina before, and I think when he had the child, the mom said, well, what if she looks like the mom? And he was like, what do you mean? What if she looks like the mom? And she's like, was she going to be dark like the mom? And so I was like, wait a second. I was like, now you're telling me that? I don't want to even be with you because that girl is lighter than me. You're going to have a real black child if you have one with me. That mama really ain't going to like that because I feel like my genes are strong. My baby's going to be black like black. So, because, you know, his daughter, you can't even tell that his daughter is black at all. You know what I'm saying? They kind of look like you. You know what I'm saying? Just dark hair, light, you know, skin. You can't even tell, you know? So, but I feel like if he had a child with me, you would definitely tell. So, I don't know. It's just really odd. You know what I mean? Because some parents, they don't want no dark nothing in Nathan. They say you got to keep it light and bright. You know what I mean?
I'm curious, because how do those conversations go? Like, is it like you pull your partner aside and be like, this shit has to stop or I'm gone? Or is it like, because I had an ex who was the half Costa Rican, half black guy, where his mom really hated me. I could not tell you why. I really could not tell you why. But I remember some choice comments about, you know, like hearing conversations between her and her son, where I'm standing in the room, by the way, very similar scenario where it's like, oh, I wish you would just...
Grandma, I found the black choker. Oh my goodness. Rid of them.
We had to have a conversation where I was like, look, I respect your mom, I respect the relationship, I get where she's coming from. Like, you're my partner first, in a sense. Like, how did that go? Like, having that did you have that conversation, or was it like?
No, it was just more like, you know, with me, I like to just subtly get out. But I mean, I did have that talk. Like once he said that, I was like, so you can't have no kid with me? You know what I mean? Like, I immediately was like, well, this isn't gonna work. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not one to beat around the bush and be like, oh, well, maybe she'll change. Like, no. Like, once I hear that, I'm like, I ain't got time to be dealing with none of that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna have somebody hating on my baby and putting hate spirits on my baby when my pregnancy. He's like, nah, I don't believe in none of that. So, you know, with me, I just kind of like will nip it in the bud. I won't really, you know.
We got a reggaeton. Today, we're going to be making beats you guys send me, okay? So let's go.
Chinchi, please do my beat.
Oh, is that your homework? Yo, I see Loki cooking. Hold on. We got a reggaeton. Hold on, John. Let me help. I want some background vocals.
White people also experience racism.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think like racial discrimination can happen to anybody. I think the problem is that usually when white people talk about experiencing racism, it's like a whataboutism when people are talking about racism towards any other group of people. Right, so like obviously a white person can experience prejudice. The issue is like I'm going to experience probably some direct stuff, which I have from like my husband's family to some extent, being white, and whatnot. But I'm not going to experience any of this like systemic stuff. Like I said, like I can literally just go like ooh to a cop, even in America, like where your guys' cops are crazy here. I'm Canadian, and so it's like yes, it's just when we're functionally talking about the problem of racism. We all know what we're talking about here, right? If we want to triage these things, any negative comment towards white people is like pretty low on the tier list of societal changes that we need to impart. I think that there's a lot more like systemic issues. So I'd answer like yes, but if you ask me, is it the most important thing in racism that we need to tackle? I would say definitely not.
I grew up going to school, and I was one of the only white people in school. So in that case, it was like, and it was a lot of Spanish speaking, and I didn't speak Spanish. So. And I learned to speak Spanish, and then I realized that I was like, oh, these people don't like me because I don't speak their language. So in situations like that, I feel like there can be racism, like reverse racism, because of that. It's just like you don't fit in. It doesn't make anything wrong. It's just like, you know, you're different than everybody else.
I think there is a distinct difference between racism and prejudice. And so for me, I don't believe that white white people really experience racism, but I think they may experience some prejudice. Because racism is based around systems. Systems put in place, by people of power in order to oppress a sect of people. I don't think there's really any systems put in place by government or anything like that, people of power, to suppress like white people. However, I feel like white people in a space of like where there's around all black people or something like that, they may experience some prejudice, like that white girl, get her out of here, or something like that. Like that's really whack and that's prejudice. But racism, I don't think it's the same.
I'm having a serious issue with that languaging, right? That's been coming up in the last decade. Reverse racism. I'm like, first of all, look up what the fuck racism is. Oh, I can't cuss on here, sorry.
No one's going into the Abbey and burning it just because some white people are in there. You know what I'm saying? But they'll go into a place where,
because racism is directly related to power. That, prejudice, yes. Absolutely. Discrimination, yes. Racism? No.
I don't think we disagree on, like, the facts of the matter. Like, I agree white people, especially in America, don't experience, like, systemic racism. I think it's just a disagreement on terms, like you said. Like
No, because we can't, I can't with that, because disagreement on terms for my family, my people, and those that I love, could be life or death. Like, we can't intellectualize racism. There's literal life on the line when it comes to racism.
You mean calling like an instance of prejudice racism puts somebody's life on the line? Can you expand on that?
Can I expand on that? Saying right now with what is happening in this country, because a lot of white people, from what I've been told, what I see, what I read, other friends, people that aren't friends, that I speak to about this, with this whole reverse racism thing. We look at what's going on systematically with affirmative action, all the things. When it comes to silencing ancestors' voices, our history, all of it. That's what's on the line. It literally is around with that they're being racist, so we need to cut out all these books. Right. They're being racist, so we need to do that. It's still.
No one's telling y'all can't drink out of a water fountain because y'all smell like wet dog. No offense, but that's y'all's little prejudice that they say about y'all. But no one's telling you, oh, they can't, do this. Oh, we're gonna go burn up their partying place just because they're white. Like, no one's doing that to y'all. No one has ever done that to y'all. No one has ever said we're gonna go and tear up their whole town because these white people have a town and they got banks and they're making money. We're gonna go burn that. Like, no one's done that to y'all. Y'all still got banks and stuff.
Language is powerful. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Language is very, very powerful. And when we start to put racism in the same terminology as discrimination, as discrimination, and we group it all together, it really gets dangerous.
We don't want to dilute the meaning of racism. You know what I mean? Like, we want to group those three words together, prejudice and discrimination and racism. Like, to try to group those words together to mean the same thing dilutes the racism that black people have experienced for so many years. And that's definitely what we don't want, because when you look at how black people experienced racism for so many years, that meant life. That meant life. You know what I mean? Like, for sure. But like, what a lot of white people are claiming as racism, their life isn't really on the line. It's hurt feelings. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, they're writing in books about how white people did this, and that's just hurt feelings. Nobody's life is on the line.
Based on what I said initially, do you think I disagree with you guys on anything?
I don't remember what you said initially.
Okay.
I remember what you said. I do think that I don't disagree with what you said with respect to these two things being different, but what you said originally kind of made it sound like you were putting them in the same box.
Right. The way you answered the question, right, was
style and substance in the GMC Sierra, or get a total value of over $8,000 on this Sierra 1500 model.
We got bouncy balls.
Mercy is now playing in theaters.
Detective Raven, this is the Mercy Capital Court. You're charged with the murder of your wife.
Didn't hurt her.
Prove it.
Get in the chair.
Every camera, cell phone, and database is at your disposal.
Can I see the cameras? Someone was in our basement. Go on the ride.
You must move from one piece of the puzzle to the next.
Bring that back. Pause. Can you find out who that is? And try to solve the mystery in IMAX.
The clock is ticking.
Mercy, rated PG-13, now playing only in theater.
Are you cool? I'm just tapping on it, okay, because you don't seem cool. The question was, and you agreed with it, that people can be racist towards white people. And then you answered by saying about discrimination.
I talked about direct versus like systemic and systematic racism.
She also noted at the end, I don't know if you guys remember this, she said on basically the totem pole of what's like issues we need to focus on, racism towards white people is at the very bottom. And she also, I feel like you made it clear when you were saying it's more so little snide comments. Like it's things my mom experienced, snowflake, from the black side of my family, things like that, versus like what you're describing as systemic.
To me, what you described was prejudice. I just was like, oh, she just don't know that she's talking about prejudice.
That's totally fine. That's totally fine. I just want to be clear. Ideologically, I'm with you. Like when it comes to systematic and systemic racism, obviously white people are not experiencing this the way that black people are, or the way that any person of color. Right? When I said racism, I mostly meant it in like, I guess like the old Oxford, which is just like discriminating to somebody in any way based on like their race, which kind of includes snide comments. But yeah, I agree. It's not even close to in the scale. That's why I said on a rank of things that matter here, white racism doesn't matter.
What I'm saying is there's no such thing as white racism.
I feel like there is such thing as racism towards white people, and I'm just gonna use like an example as in like if somebody passes away who is white, I can see like I've had colleagues around me like, oh, it doesn't matter, he was white, he was piece of da da da, like it doesn't matter because like the things he would say about black people. So even though he was a racist individual, do I think that it's okay that he died because he was racist? No, now you're just being racist. So two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah, I guess we get to just agree to disagree on the term of what racism really is.
I'm just happy to use like whatever language. That's when I say racism, that's just all I meant. But if you want to call it prejudice, that's fine. And I would say like, yeah, white people experience prejudice, but according to how you're defining racism, white people don't experience that. Yeah.
I just do have to add though, because you started making a good point I wanted to say, but I wasn't trying to get everyone pissed off. I love history. Historically, not now, I'm not saying in this day and age, but historically, different groups of white people were discriminated against. When the Italians started coming over, they were called slurs. When the Irish came over, they were called slurs.
They weren't white then.
Way back, and when that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, now everybody's white.
Was
It's very
different, but they were white.
Do you know why the definition of white was constructed?
Go ahead and tell me.
No, I want you to tell me.
No, because you're okay. First of all, I feel like you can be a little nicer because you're kind of coming at everyone. Like, you're just, but your energy is just a little bit rude, and we're coming in here to have a discussion.
I'm being direct.
You tell me why. I don't know why the definition of whiteness was changed, and you're being condescending.
That's not
So
condescending.
go ahead and tell me. Tell me.
So when you're talking about Italians, other people that are considered white now being discriminated, you okay?
No, because she's not.
I know she's not.
I don't like that, because I could tell even with the first comment before how your voice was already starting to get shaky. I know that you're already triggered. I know you don't feel great about everything in this conversation, but I don't want you to feel attacked.
I don't feel supported by these two ladies. You guys have been nothing but great. Genuinely.
You don't feel supported by us because of what we said about the difference between having a white mother and a black mother?
I think you guys were differentiating yourselves from me being biracial because you guys have black mothers and I do not. And you were making negative comments about the fact that my mom was white. Oh, I can tell. That has an underlying connotation from it.
We were saying based on what you shared about how you spoke to your family.
And based on how you shared that, you thought it was weird that your boyfriends of a different ethnicity's parents demanded respect, which
you misunderstood what I said.
It's the way she's acting, yeah.
Because
so then why don't you reiterate yourself?
I'm trying to, and you're interrupting me. I'm trying to, and you're interrupting me.
No, but you tried to 3 times. You said the same thing over again.
So when I brought up the issue with my first boyfriend being Korean and the culture of respecting your elders, what I brought up was
this is real Karen energy.
Yes, I came from a culture of where my family and I could have dialogue back and forth, and I didn't realize that was different until I dated someone from a different race. However, in that specific context, it was to the point where his family was disrespecting me because I was black, but because his culture tells you to respect your elders, he let his family walk all over me and be racist and be disrespectful. That's what I was talking about. I never said I disrespected them.
His family did that to you, but what I'm saying is that it's very much the same in black communities, and it's unfair to black communities too. And somebody I know many people who like get walked all over from their black parents because they can't do anything. They get hit, they get beat. It's normalized. I sometimes wish I was a different race.
So she is white. Really.
You know that story
Yeah,
where
her mom's white. She more than likely didn't grow.
Things move fast in the modern workforce. I'm at University of Phoenix, where I learn skills and courses I can put to use right away. Earn career.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier.
Years at University of Phoenix.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name
Her
on it.
mother got swallowed into the white culture.
Just by thinking about it.
That's around it.
Meet base 40.
So she would allow her.
Her mother's white.
Her like that.
Yeah, her mother's white. Her dad's
Mother's
black.
white. Her father wasn't there.
Yeah, her father more than likely wasn't there.
The only person with mixed race genes in the house. She grew up white. She
Yeah.
doesn't understand that she is white.
Yeah.
You are not black. I don't care how much, what your genetics say.
And you went to white schools after that. You went to all that. So it's like, yeah, you don't really understand what it's like to actually have to deal with what the two mixed race women next to you are talking about.
You were not raised at all within a black culture.
She's even
You have no idea of it.
She's even dressed different than them. You see how the white women on the side are dressed, and the black women on the side are dressed. Two mixed women are like right in the middle. They're just kind of right in the middle. They're more black, and then she's like, look like she's more on that side. Yeah, like even down to the breakdown of it. It's like.
I think that she, just like Mariah Carey, has had to fight really hard to be accepted by all the white people around her. But in that household, it was a white cultured family.
Yeah.
She had no idea what it would be like growing up with a black mother.
Yeah. No.
Because you don't talk to black mothers in a certain way.
No way.
You should expect to be embedded in a wall.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what I say. You should smack the piss out you. You talk to me like that.
That's right.
She's like, yeah. We talk back at each other, and I even do that with my dad. And that's another thing that women don't understand. White women, yeah, you're getting that from a white woman, first of all. But there's even black women. As a man, there's things that Lonnie probably could say to me that that these boys can never say to me, just because you're a girl, and that's really what it is. So it's like, yeah, you have a skewed view of what is happening.
A black man who would be the white woman and maybe exclusively date white women is going to allow a different level of speech from them. All black men have to suffer a different level of speech toward them from women.
Right.
Unless they put a hard line in it. And he apparently accepted it.
Yeah. Some of them, that's
nothing to do with black women.
Yeah, some of the men like that though. They'll date mixed race women that talk to them crazy, and like I don't think she's understanding that either, because from her perspective, she's just been this and whatever. But there's a lot of, and she's like, black men don't like me because I'm too whitewashed, and it's like, no, not really. I don't think it's that. I've met girls like you though that talk crazy, and I'm not with that. So I'll move away. It doesn't really have to do with anything about how you're acting and what your cultural background is. If all that was cool, it would be cool. But it's the fact of the way you're talking to people and how triggered you are and how entitled you are in certain situations.
I don't think she accepts the fact that the people in her life that didn't accept her and treat her the way her family treated her in white culture. It impacted how she feels about everything. She's trying so hard because nobody allowed her to learn black culture within her household. She was just she grew up encased in white culture.
Yeah,
that's how you grew up. That's what you are.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like people like her, she's trying to argue for the same type of experience that I've lived through, where people go, oh, your dad's Puerto Rican or your name's Hispanic, and then they start treating you crazy until they see how you talking and how you move and all that, and then they're like, oh, that's a dark-skinned guy. Like my friend always talks about it. He's like, you're the darkest light-skinned guy I know. Like, that's really what it is, because I grew up around a lot of black folks and a lot of different types of black folk. So that's what it is. It's like, it didn't matter if I was part Puerto Rican. It didn't matter at the end of the day, unless you were just meeting me or judging me from the outside based on that grain of hair and all that stuff. That doesn't matter. So if anybody got past your appearance, because she really looks just like a light-skinned black girl. It's not like So once they got past your appearance, they didn't think you were black because of how you're acting. That's really what it was. Yeah.
It's a culture. I grew up on military bases, and so I had a limited view of Black American culture until, say, high school and college.
Right.
And if people wanted to say I was different or I talked in a different way, I wasn't offended by it because my household was multicultural.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I come from it from a different view where I don't really have that super tie to Black American culture because I had another culture.
Yeah.
That I didn't need that. So I'm not offended. I don't care what you think. You know, I'm Black, and when people ask, well, what's your mother? What's your parents? It's still going. I'm a child of 2 Black parents. Two parents who consider themselves Black. So, no, I'm not biracial, but you know, the questions always came.
Yeah.
Look at your skin color and your hairstyle and your features. They always assume that you're biracial.
Mm-hmm.
There's many more spans of culturalism and mixes than just biracial.
Yeah.
They see something light skin, they assume it's part white. I don't get that.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem they had with Tyler, because Tyler's from South Africa. So in South Africa, they use the word colored, and they like, you know, Black Americans have learned to not like that word.
Right.
But in South Africa, it's a regular word. It just means that a Black person who is mixed with anything that's not necessarily African.
And I'm not offended by that because it would be stupid for them to say Black American.
Yeah. Or
African American, they're African.
Yeah, to be like, yeah, to be
They're literally African. It's like if I'm African and I'm trying to decide to describe this and I'm in Australia or Britain.
Asian African. They're not doing that shit. That shit sounds stupid. It sounds stupid over here. You're an American, for real. Let's be real.
Still, again, putting us in a different category than all the white people.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't point out Irish American anymore.
No, they're not doing that.
You don't point out, you know, Italian American now. So to call us Japanese Americans, Korean Americans, Chinese Americans is insulting. An African American is insulting to us because you're still putting us in another category, not as Americans. We're all Americans, are we not?
Yeah.
And then you get upset about people using the word colored to describe people. Because they have color.
Yeah.
Hello, it's not offensive. They're not trying to offend.
Yeah, because it's over there. They go African. Then they go, if you're African, if you're white, you're usually just Afrikaner, the Dutch people. So everything that comes in the middle is just colored, and that's from apartheid. But that word actually makes more sense. Like I said, as much as it bothers us because it's been used as a term of to that, but it makes sense in their cultural dynamic because I think a lot of Black people don't even know enough about apartheid to know that it's the same shit. They went through the same thing. So they just found a word that's for everything in the middle. If you're Asian and you're African, you're colored. If you're Spanish and African, you're colored. That's people of color, colored folks. That's really what it is.
Yeah, we're not European descent.
Yeah.
Because that's a little bit.
Or maybe have European descent, but are more colored or present as Black. Yeah.
English.
Because that's what we deal with a lot is these people that are mostly these white folks that we've been raised around that are just like, oh yeah, we came from all these other places too, and that's like she was saying, there's a lot of other racism against white folks too, and there was back in the day, but they've now been assimilated into this thing, and then there's the other part that I think white folks don't even realize that they do, where they create these white adjacent races.
Right.
Where it's like you now get this, and it changes all the time. You now get this white privilege because you're in this white adjacent category. However, you're not actually white, And if it was to come down to a white person and you, who's going to get the privilege? It's going to be the white person. However, if it's between you and a black person, oh yeah, those Koreans, like right around here specifically, Koreans are going to get it. They always do that with the different Hispanic races until they get a little too taking our jobsy, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, they're taking all our jobs, get the Mexicans out of here.
Clearly, the whole point when it comes, whatever American accent was developed after everybody moved here, leaned more toward British, but it wasn't quite British. So whoever assimilated and didn't have that accent was targeted.
Yeah.
You can lose an accent. I can't lose my skin color.
Right.
So that's why it perpetually became an attack on people of color. Because you can't lose. That was something they could tag you at and keep you in there.
Yeah.
But once you lost your Irish accent, how did they tag you?
Yeah, now we're not.
You kind of just get swallowed up.
Mm-hmm. And it's even the funny thing about that to me is they were talking about Irish folks, and there was an Irish guy. He was on an interview, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm the last black Irishman," and he's like, "White dude, though, orange hair," and he's like, "Yeah, I'm like one of the last black people, like people with original ties to the indigenous people in Ireland that were black." But because of the mixing, I'm now camouflaged as if I'm not black anymore.
Right.
And it's like, it happens the same way in other places too. Like her, I don't think she realizes that. That's why you're getting past with this stuff. Because eventually you got to the point where your family now no longer can tell the difference between whether they can no longer tell the difference whether you're black or you're whatever other race she is. Because we wouldn't know what kind of white she is, because her mom's definitely assimilated into just white culture in America. So, because that's what the bottom line is. None of these people were from everybody's from somewhere else. Like,
there's very few indigenous people that you run across every day.
Yeah.
Unless you're in Oklahoma or someplace.
And then them indigenous people are still kind of whitewashed too, that I started running into. There's only a couple of them that you can still see and you can go, oh yeah. And they're kind of falling out of that by the generation where it's my age. They're kind of falling out of it too. Like I said, the older guy I was working with looked like very white country presenting, but he was native. But then he showed me a picture of his dad, and his dad looks like me. And he's American, Native American with a big old afro and the black power fist and all that stuff. So it's like, yeah, there's a lot of, it's diluted now. And by the next generation, a lot of this stuff is going to be even further diluted. And that's why you got, what's his name on TV with the white woman talking about, we need to get a hold of this abortion thing so we can save the white race. Donald Trump said that on TV. We can save the white race. This is something that needs to be controlled because we're dying off. Because the more the intermixing happens, the less it's going to even matter whether you're white or not.
And nobody said anything about that when they were trying to destroy abortion rights for women to choose.
Yeah.
But we all knew they couldn't care less if brown and black people abort as many fetuses as they want. They just don't want these little white girls going and aborting white babies.
Mm-hmm. Because in their culture, it's more, let's be real. As far as black folk only started doing it because white culture said it was cool.
Right.
Because we're more like that. But that was the higher, we started getting higher abortion rates like towards the girls that are younger than me, like that were in her grade and younger. That's when I started hearing about all these abortions. The ones that were older than me were getting them done too, but they weren't getting them done at the rate that everybody else was getting them done.
I didn't even know about that abortions were like a thing until after I graduated, and then you started telling me stories, and of course, around you have your first kid and stuff, and you learn about stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like all the many reasons why you could get an abortion, and you're just getting an abortion because you don't have any discipline.
Yeah, you don't have any sexual discipline. It's like I just don't want to have this baby and have it hold me back. So
within black culture, it's like
that wasn't regular.
Take care of our children.
Right. But within white culture, that became more popular, where it's like, yeah, you're a woman, and then feminism kind of added that to that too. I think where it's like, oh yeah, you're a woman, take control of your body. You don't ruin your life for another life. And it's like you're pro-choice. You have the choice, but don't buckle down for yourself. But at the end of the day, yeah, that wasn't one of the things that we were doing.
Only acceptable because the white men knew what they were doing to all the white girls.
Yeah.
We know what y'all doing. Y'all are not slick. And you want some way that you're going to be able to cover this up so nobody knows what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to do this, without seeming like you're a criminal, you're doing the wrong thing, you have to make it legal. And if I can legalize you going to get an abortion and not having to get signed off by a guardian or an adult.
Yeah, for a reason.
Yeah, then let's go ahead and pass it.
Because it's like even when Charlie Kirk, they asked him, he said, well, if your daughter was raped, what would you do? Would you allow her to get an abortion? No, I would make her have the baby. Huh? Okay. No hesitation. No, she would have that baby. I'm like, oh, really? This is how we feeling. But that's what I'm like, there's a lot of things.
The what if scenario, I don't know what you would do what if it was not a white baby?
Yeah.
I think you would still make them have, you would still make your daughter have this baby.
I don't think they would.
Traumatized, and it's not even a white baby.
Yeah, I don't think they would.
I don't think the what if can be seen unless until you get to the point where it's here and it's happening to your child.
But that's why I always say when people are like, oh, when they're like, oh, do you have a problem with having the amount of kids you have? And I'm like, no, the black culture's, our replacement rate is the lowest in the whole thing. So at the end of the day, yeah, is it harder to have a lot of kids? Yes, indeed. But to be like, oh yeah, we need to start getting rid of kids and stop having as many kids is a counterproductive to us, period. And then as a whole culture, and then, like I said, there's the white folks are saying, hey, let's get their replacement rate as low as possible and then up our replacement rate because we don't want to lose any type of ground out here. And it's like, it shouldn't even be about power for real. I don't know why people are thinking about that. But we've been trained as in this black culture to go, oh yeah, you're only supposed to have this many kids. And it's even like, think about it with Asian culture. Asian culture was doing the same thing. But that was like, what, was that the communist government rule that said that? That was like, only have a couple kids, and that's what they were saying. I forget what anime I was watching. They were like, yeah, they were like, only have a couple kids, and then eventually they ran into a situation where they needed more kids, and now everybody, no, it's real. That's in Japan. We were talking about that the other time. Like, yeah, now you're begging people to come in there and have kids in Japan and have Japanese kids because it's like, yeah, please come over here in Korea, and because our older generation doesn't have anybody to take care of them. And all these abandoned homes are abandoning, and the towns and the hospitals are shutting down. And it's like, what are we gonna do now? Because we've stopped, officially stopped our birth rate. So, yeah, like at the end of the day, come on, man. That's the other aspect of it takes a village. Because like I was telling you, I'm like, one day you and Dad gonna get up there. And we're going to need people to take care of them. And I'm going to have 5 grown-ass 15, 16, 17-year-olds to come help me do that with. And so it makes it a family thing at that point rather than, but like your mom and your dad's family were like 22, 12. Everybody runs the farm. Everybody runs the family business. When it gets to a point like that, then it stops looking as irresponsible as people think it is on the level that it is now. It's like, oh, okay, now it's like, oh, now these kids are grown and they have enough to do what they're doing and to keep up the family forever. As that, what if you don't have kids, you got the one kid family, and then that one kid just decides, fuck you guys, I hate you, Mom, I hate you, Dad, and then they're just like, yeah, no, and then you're dying alone, and that's what a lot of these people are going through now, and it's like, I hate to see it, but that's really real.
That's why the other day when I was sitting in that parking lot waiting to drop off. No, I was coming out of Walmart, dropping off Zion, and the dad going, white family coming out of this big, the passenger vans.
Mm-hmm.
7 kids. The oldest one looked like she couldn't be no more than maybe 13, 14. And the mom is pregnant. And it's a white family. But if it was black people,
They'd be
y'all
like,
gonna look at that like it's
"Yo,
crazy.
they're so irresponsible. What made them do that?" But the Partridge, that's what I always talk about when we were kids. The Partridge Family, the Brady Bunch. We saw all these big ass families on TV all the time that were white families, and that was pushed to us as if that was cool. But when you saw the black family, like, let's go Family Matters. What they have Laura and Eddie, and that's it. And then everybody else was just extended family, and they're taking care of the kids in the neighborhood because that's what we were told to do. Like, you know, have a small family as a black family. Huh? Who? Oh, the little girl disappeared though. She walked up the stairs and never came back. What happened? She got, that's what I'm saying. In the story, even in the storyline, she disappeared. Like, we stopped taking care of her.
We don't have the budget to add Urkel bigger.
Yeah.
We'll get rid of Urkel.
But then, yeah, I think that was the cap. I think that was the cap for most of the black TV shows was the 3-kid family, but the white families had like step by step, like 5, 6 kids sometimes. Everyone, there was always a big happy family, and everybody's helping the family home, and everybody's got their roles in the house. And then it's like you get to the black TV shows and the black kids don't even do chores. It was like, we're very unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? It didn't make sense. But we've been taught that the white family being huge is cool and the black family needs to be small. And I never understood that. And then the more I watch Moesha back, I was watching Moesha the other night. I hate that show. And I love Brandy, I love Ray J, all of them. But that show made black folk look so bad. Frank was talking all that virtue signaling shit half the show. Then come to find out Ray J's his son. I didn't remember none of that. Ray J's his son. Then he's like calling around talking about, Moesha, this is your weed. And it's the little brother's weed. I'm like, you hated this girl. You were doing all this stuff just to find out, oh, we taking in your cousin Dorian all the time because he needs help, just to find out that that's your son later on and your sister's been raising him the whole time. And you were virtue signaling here, Moesha, the whole show for like 8 seasons about everything she's doing, but then letting the Dorian go because you knew what you did to him, for real. It's like, that's Uncle Frank, you my dad? Like, wow, this is the type of TV shows we had for black folks. But they have friends. Friends. And then we got Living Single, where I'm watching the podcast where they're walking back through Living Single, and I was missing a lot of details on Living Single too. Now I'm hearing them talk about it. Well, who is it? Not Kim Fields, but the lady who played the lady who played Sinclair and the other lady, Erica, who played who was with Kyle. They're doing their own Living Single again. And they're doing the podcast talking about all the episodes, and they're bringing people on, like they brought Cree Summer on to talk about it and all that. And I'm like, oh, there's a lot of details I missed about this too. It was more like more than I thought it was. Like I'm like, when they're walking through the episodes, like they're talking about it cerebrally, like how they were getting into the character, like how Sinclair really was like really not doing nothing for Overton for real. As much as, she's kind of dragged it on for a long time, and I didn't think about it till they said that. That I thought they were just always kind of in love and playing back and forth, the will they, won't they thing. But they were really like, yeah, she wasn't ready, and she was kind of scarred from other relationships. She kind of just liked the thought process of Overton. She didn't really like. So then when he started dating Cree Summer on there, Cree Summer's character, then she started second guessing whether she wanted to be serious about him. I'm like, oh, there's a lot of shows that we were indoctrinated by. Like, even going back to Family Matters, I talked about that before on the live with my friends. I'm like, I think we take into account how much, we don't take enough into account on how much like TV will kind of affect your relationships too. Because sometimes, like, so I had to put it into the perspective of, I watched Boy Meets World and Family Matters growing up. So Family Matters, if you really pay attention to Family Matters, Urkel's a really, really nice guy who wants Laura. But Laura really didn't want him at all. At all. Even up to the end, she didn't really want him. She wanted Stefan, and she was only really happy with Urkel in the end because they wrote it that way. But even when you kind of pay attention to it, then he's on the space station and he's not there anymore. So it doesn't really matter what you were doing. And then he could split himself into two people so she could have Stefan when he wasn't there. But yeah, that was weird to me. And then I look back on that and I look at Myra, how much Myra loved him, supported him, and really wanted him. But they kind of made us feel like Myra was lame and she was psycho for liking him.
Like he was like, oh, Mr. I'm wearing her down.
Right. And but they kind of make you like go for the hard choice, like, oh yeah, Laura. They kind of condition you to go for the one that didn't really like you, and I started seeing that too. Then with Boy Meets World, like I think that's the only thing that offset it was that Topanga was the perfect girl for him when he was a kid, and they were in love, and it was all about love, and it was all about unconditional love, and how much, you see what I'm saying? How different the black show is from the white show. It's all about unconditional love, and they went through so much, and they dated other people, but they still loved each other, and they came back because they were young, and they understood they were young, and then they ended the show married and having kids and all that, and then they even went into the next show like that. But Family Matters didn't really ever do the unconditional love on black shows, no matter what it was. Even with One-on-One, like her and Arnaz kind of did the back and forth for a long time, but I don't even remember how One-on-One ended, if it ended.
I think that was the days when, and I hate it when they do that, just cancel the show and don't wind it up.
That would be a cool show to see come back, especially because I always like Kyla Pratt, and I feel like Kyla Pratt and Richard Richard are good actors, and I think they're even in better position. I don't know what Flex is doing right now, though. Flex, I haven't heard from him in a long time. But yeah, Alexis Fields, all of them people that were on One-on-One could do a One-on-One reunion, and I would enjoy watching it. Marcus Houston was on One-on-One. Ray J, all of these people are way bigger names than they were when that show was out. I think it would make that show what it was if they revived it, but I don't think anybody's thinking about doing that.
Go to a deeper kind of.
Yeah, get it. More adult reason, more adult things, and more adult stuff. If you hear that, whoever owns a One-on-One property, look it up and try. But remember, you got that from this. You got that from this live.
We love to see a reboot.
But yeah, that's like The Game. I didn't know The Game was a Girlfriend spinoff until somebody explained it to me. I'm like, oh, he was on there. They were all on there. I'm like, that's crazy. Because I remember watching Girlfriends with you, but I never got like deep into Girlfriends. That was another one where I was like, I didn't like how they made Joan look on there. The more I look back at that, I'm like, oh, they got Joan looking crazy and treating this man William crazy on the clips that they put up now. I'm like, oh man, this was a wild relationship. But all the white shows, like even down to Married with Children. I think Married with Children is one of the funniest shows ever with Alan Pegg. But even though she talked them crazy on there, it was always the underlying thing that they were in love and they were never gonna leave each other. Yeah, even though he was the most abusive sounding dude in the world.
And he could act so put upon because he was rude and uncouth, and she put up with him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He felt like he married up. He'd do anything to keep her happy, even though he was rude and uncouth.
Yeah. And then that's the other thing about Married with Children that I like. They didn't always just act like Peg was right all the time.
Right.
Like where there was an episode I was watching where she stole his credit card and bought a whole bunch of stuff, and he goes to the store and he's like, yeah, I was trying to get you something for your birthday, but I don't even have anything on my card. It's like my card got declined and I don't know why. So then she's like, eventually by the end of the thing, they figure out that she spent all the money that he had. and she was cussing him out for a whole episode about not having a birthday gift and all that stuff.
She bought her own birthday gift.
Basically, yeah. He was like, you spent all the money I had put aside for the gift on the dinner. And then she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And she embarrassed him in front of all the people. And she apologized, which was one of the things that I never saw on any other TV show. Where they're like, oh, yeah, here. I apologize to you for doing that. I didn't know that's what you were doing. But there's a lot of TV that I think, like we're saying, conditions people to go, yeah, this is what you're supposed to be like in real life. And because as much as they say art imitates life, I think a lot of times life imitates art in ways. Where they'll, like, it's like even with hip hop, with the rappers, the way people listen to rappers and all that stuff, and they're like, oh, eventually they hear so much rap music that they get out there and they start trying to kill people.
Yeah.
Or they start trying to, then it turns into a jail pipeline because it's like you've listened to this so much that you really don't know what else to do. There's people that live by Jay-Z's lyrics, like this is, you know what I'm saying? I know guys that do this stuff where like, yeah, I live by this because this is what I listen to and I grew up listening to this. Dr. J. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, eyes and ears, windows to the soul, and I feel like that's why they trap you in front of these shows all the time. That's why I'm like so active about what they're watching. Cause it's like, cause at first I didn't understand when I was a kid when you were like, oh, no secular music to a certain point. But yeah, now I get it because if I would have started,
like no secular music, I didn't watching videos.
Right.
Because they were soft porn.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, these people are just making soft porn on the screen. I didn't care about the music. You know, the music was something that, you know, I felt like everybody has music in them. Just be careful what you put through your ears.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was the videos, them adding pictures to that.
Right, true.
For young people to watch all that sexualized stuff.
Yeah, but I definitely understood the understanding of it later on. At first I was like, because Dad, I think, took that and ran with it even further and was like, no secular music, period. And then you listen to secular music, and he's listening to secular music.
Yeah, I was like totally gospel music person. That was my choice. I didn't put that on anybody else. And your dad was the one who listened to secular music on the slide when he's in the car and stuff like on his own.
Yeah.
He was always in secular music. I didn't ever say that was a decision for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a decision I would make for everyone. It was what I was singing, what I was studying, happened to be
Gospel music,
at the time. But I've never been into a certain kind of music ever. You know, but
Because I remember you used to listen to the Braxton, to like Tony Braxton and stuff like that back in the day. You used to have a couple songs. Like I couldn't remember where I was hearing Anita Baker until I remember for a long time.
Kind of stuff, bluesy kind of stuff I did always listen to. But it wasn't like I played that kind of music, any kind of music, all day, every day. Other than gospel music because I felt it had a message.
Yeah.
That I attacked you, but I feel the same way about country music. I feel it has messages, and I feel the same way about bluesy rhythm blues because it has a message. You know what I mean? I always think it's important to have a message that's clear, and I didn't grow up in the rap era, so I couldn't understand it. That takes time to be able to listen to. It's like a different language. You
Right.
have to tune your ears to it and get to the point where you can understand it. And so it never drew me because I'm not that. I'm like, oh, I'm so into music, I have to be playing music all the time. Some people are, but I'm not.
Yeah. Because that's what I was like for the longest. I remember I was hearing this Anita Baker song. I think it's Caught Up in the Rapture at the beginning. And I couldn't remember where and why that song made me feel that way for the longest. And then I was like, oh, I remember sitting in like a car with you late one night leaving somewhere in that Civic. And I'm like, that's where that's from. I'm like, I remember that from that long ago in that old Civic, the first one, the one he had in Puerto Rico. I'm like, oh, okay, that's where I recognize this from. So I'm like, yeah, I remember you listened to some. But I remember exactly the types of stuff you were listening to.
That's why I never distinguish because of that. It wasn't like I had to have music playing. I just didn't like the music videos. Because when I'm coming from somebody who's not looking at all the time, it was something I didn't see. Like, I wouldn't play adult movies around you. I'm not going to play that.
Right,
around kids, you know. So.
But yeah,
it's very suggestive and very sexualized. And I'm like, you don't want videos. No music videos.
Yeah, I didn't understand it at first until I started seeing how much that stuff has effect on people. Like, especially the people I grew up with, where I'm like, oh, you grew up listening to this, watching this, and that's all you ever saw. And then it's like, you wonder why these cats end up moving the way they do as adults, or not knowing what's right or what's wrong as adults, and then, or not knowing how to adjust in situations as adults. And it's like, yeah, because this is all you ever grew up. Like, it's like me and my friend always talk about, we're like, yeah, you can, hip hop is like not even necessarily the genre if you live it the right way. Like, it's like how you breathe. The essence of hip hop is supposed to be how you're living and your aspect. So if you're like, that's what we always talk about, the Christian rap. I don't like the word Christian rap specifically, because if you're a Christian who raps, that's still within the hip hop essence. It's like, you can be whatever you are, is the expression of hip hop is that. So like back in the day, the start of hip hop, like Melly Mel wasn't even a rapper. He's the person who started, not Melly Mel, but yeah. Is it DJ? Yeah, I think it is DJ. Melly Mel and all them, but that's not who started. That's not the innovator though. But yeah, what am I saying? Oh yeah, no, but they started out as DJs and they were running rock records and stuff like that, like Queen and stuff like that. And then they were just like finding the breaks and rapping over them and making it into art forms that weren't there, and like taking the tape and stopping it and making songs out of stuff that people wouldn't think to make it out of. But it was just what we're living in this life right here. Or like Busy Bee was one of the earlier rappers. And he was really just a party DJ, and he was really just hosting the party. He wasn't really rapping like there's rappers now that rap. He was just hosting the party, and that's what it turned into. But Curtis Blow, people like that, it turned into all that other stuff later, because I think a lot of the it's like Too Short described the turning point for him, and I think that gave me a lot of insight into what gangster rap turned into as what it was. Too Short said, as a rapper growing up in the hood in LA, that he would have pimps and pushers and stuff like that come up to him and say, hey, I heard that song you made. Great. It would be great, but you're not living that interesting, and I'm living that interesting. So let me tell you, I want a song to be able to ride around in that relates to me as a pimp. So can you guys write me a song, record it, and I'll pay for it to be made? So Too Short was like, yeah, basically after a while, we ended up in the studio all the time for these pimps, recording pimp songs, just about their lives. And we writing them and we're recording them just because of that. But we weren't doing all that.
Right.
But we were making it because they were asking us to, because they wanted music that they was living their lifestyle.
That bothered me when it was all about gangbanging and drug dealing and, you know, wearing all this little big jewelry. And, yeah, it did bother me because I knew not all of them. And going to prison was a badge of honor.
Yeah.
For that group of musicians. No, you're not really being a musician. I'm more impressed by the guy who went to Juilliard.
Yeah.
But, you know, if he had gone to prison, who knows where he would have gone.
Yeah. But that's what with NWA, that I think that's the other turning point too, where you're saying it became a badge of honor to go to jail, because they were at least going to jail for free speech. They weren't going to jail because they were being criminals. They were writing about that stuff, but they were writing about it just to scare the power structure. Right. And they were going to jail for free speech because of that, because of them scaring the power structure. But yeah, eventually it comes to a point where it's like, yeah, they're now going to jail, and they don't even know why they're going to jail or what they think, why they think it's cool. Mm-hmm. And that's a problem. But now, with the rappers we're growing up with, everybody, it's like, that's why I started rapping the way I was rapping. Like, even in the verse I let you listen to for the cipher the other night. It's like, if you really think or listen to what I'm saying, I'm condemning all that stuff. But I'm just saying it the same way they would. But I'm condemning all of that stuff. I'm saying it just as slick and it's just as in the same cadences that they would do it. But I'm condemning all of that at the same token. But
I get upset because it was yet another thing to channel people into the prisons where white people are making money and black people are subjugated yet again.
yeah.
You're putting yourself right back into slavery. When you buy into this, you fall into this stuff.
On purpose, yeah.
Because they want to lock black and brown people up because they're making money by the head.
Yeah.
And there's people, this is privatized prisons. They're making rich people rich. They ain't black rich people.
Yeah, no.
Unless they hooked onto the Republican trail now because they invested in some of those. They're doing the same thing to their own people.
Yep. And that's where it becomes, it always became a problem for me. It's like, yeah, y'all are doing all this stuff. Because even at that point, that's why I made that song, I call it Black Church. But it's like, I was watching an interview one day and I'm like, hey, the dude said the most profound thing to me in that moment, because I never thought about churches like that until he said it. And he was an atheist guy. But he said, they take black dollars every weekend, but they can't make a black bank to get us ahead. But it's really because at the end of the day, they're privatized and they're on top. A lot of these churches are being subsidized by the government too, whether they're black or white churches either. So it's like, yeah, no, of course they're not going to help, whether they're a black church or a white church. They're not going to do that. They're just going to take your money. It's another scheme. And it's like, just, oh yeah, here we go. To add to the building fund, and the building never changes.
Chance's background on his song.
Oh, and the letter song?
Yeah, and he was talking about Marcus Garvey and stuff like that. And the black businesses that developed and were working on having more black businesses offshoots. It is a problem that they've gone off to. It's the same thing we did when freedom came, and they said you have to be separate, but then they said they allowed us in. I mean, why did we have enough? It's like we have been subjugated so long that we don't have the pride to say, well, thank you for allowing me to come to your store. I will walk in there and maybe buy something little, but I'm gonna go to my black-owned store.
Right.
And give them my dollars because y'all are just like, I should be grateful to come here. No, you just saw how successful these black businesses are and how many black dollars they're getting. You want the black dollars. I'm not gonna give it to you after you subjugated us for years. Mm-hmm. Why do we not have that, like, organization that instilled that pride when we still had those businesses?
Right.
So, yeah, so he's talking about the problem, the black problem.
Because, yeah, when I read Marcus Garvey letter to people, too, I was like, you know what? This is a lot of stuff that I never thought about like that. Like, even when we're talking about the interracial marriages, like, there was stuff that was like, I could see how people would spin it as hate. But then when you really think about it, it's like, what he's saying is, you're marrying a white woman after you've created all this black wealth for yourself and all that stuff, or whatever black money you got. And now you're handing it back to a white family, in essence. And you're supporting this white family rather than support a black family. And I understand where that makes sense. And it's like a lot of things that Marcus Garvey was saying was like, yeah, we need this, it wasn't like necessarily separation like everybody else wants to repeat it as.
Go. Somebody's gonna end up getting hurt pulling that thing.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily separation like everybody wanted to act like it was. It was more like, hey, just let the black business thrive and let it do that. And when I was reading it before, I didn't really understand everything fully until I went to Tulsa. And I started seeing all that. When you feel the energy in Tulsa and you see everything and you see all the monuments to Black Wall Street, then it's like, oh yeah, now I feel this in my spirit a lot more than I did living far away from it. It's like, man, yeah, no, let the black business thrive. Because at the end of the day, they literally did not want to see the black businesses thrive just because they were more successful than the white businesses. Because eventually the white people, they do it now. Let's be real. And when they gentrify these areas,
they come to our to try to appropriate all our culture, and they think it's so cool. We're colorful people.
Yeah.
We dress more colorful. We eat more colorful. So yeah, people are attracted to us.
Yeah.
And what we do, but yeah, some white people would have a real problem with that.
Yeah, they see white people come into those stores, and they see the response that it's getting, and the white people go into that restaurant, and they're like, oh, okay. Instead of like, let's go to your restaurant too, they buy it and take it from the black man, and then write it, and then steal all his recipes. It's like, have you seen the guy that's going viral on the internet? They're calling him Mr. Tendernism. So there's the old black guy. Yeah. Huh? You haven't seen him?
No.
Old black guy, real cool dude. Like he was doing barbecue, right? So the background story on this is, he's like a guy from New Orleans. He meets this guy who has a coffee shop. Runs into the guy, and he's like, hey, you know what? Your coffee shop kind of could do better if you had better marketing and you had a little more food in here, maybe a little bit something a little more cultural than just coffee. So he's like, oh, okay, what are you thinking? So he's like, I can come there and make gumbo like a couple times a week, and we'll see where we can go from there. So he comes in there and makes this authentic New Orleans gumbo for them. Eventually, the people are coming for the gumbo and not for the coffee.
Yeah. You can get coffee anyway.
Yeah. So this turns into, now we're coming for the gumbo and not the coffee. So then next suggestion is, hey, maybe we should turn this up a little bit and do some barbecue. So they start doing oxtails, they start doing ribs, they start doing chicken, they start doing all that on a pit outside. So he's selling this, and he's got Keith Lee coming talking about, and he's like selling it online for years, like, oh yeah, this is that tendernism. This is what I call tendernism. And he's like shaking the rib off the bone because it's so tender and it's just hitting the thing. And he's like, ooh, and he's throwing his glasses. It's hilarious. And it. Yeah, and it related to black folk like that to that point. So they all went to Destination Smokehouse, which used to be Destination Coffee Bar, and to see this black guy because they thinking he's running it. And so what ends up happening is Keith Lee goes and he reviews the restaurant. He's like, oh yeah, this is great, right? So he tries to tip Unc like $5,000. Like, here, I want to hand this to you. The white owner blocks him from paying him. He said, oh yeah, no, if you were going to tip somebody, you should have tipped the whole staff. And he starts getting all into this stuff with the front.
I came here to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't come here to see your whole staff.
Yeah, so now, then he takes Unc off the videos, and he starts jumping in the videos, doing a whole bunch of clown minstrel shit for the video, copying this old black man, moved him out the way, sent him home. Basically, de facto fired him. Put in a trademark for the word tendernism. That was like, yeah, that he's saying in the videos.
He's saying that in the video for years.
Yeah.
Proof that that's his.
The funny thing is, there's a lawyer, right? So he's gonna have to go to court with a lawyer because there's a black lawyer that trademarked it too. So now you have to argue with this black lawyer about that trademark because he's like, yeah, I think he should have that and he should give it to him. And he was like, I've been watching the videos for so long that I could see it happening, so I went and tried to trademark it. And he even tried to trademark it through a third-party company so nobody would know it was him doing it. And he's like, T-shirts, all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, you're corny. But now everybody's smoking this white dude on the internet because they're like, yeah, this is no different than Aunt Jemima.
From black people yet again.
No,
he was helping your business.
Came to you and tried to
money. Now
help.
You ain't gonna make no money because ain't nobody gonna come there.
Yeah, dead. There was another influencer that went in there and he's like, yeah, it's dead in here. Yeah, because the black folk ain't coming no more because they don't like how you did that. Yeah. It's just like when I used to drink a lot, I used to drink Jack Daniels till I figured out what was going on with Jack Daniels. And I was like, oh, because it just felt like it was good. And I was like, I understand. Once I learned the story of Brother Near is the guy who made Jack Daniels how it is. So it's like, oh, you did that to Jack. You did that to him. You did that to the lady who was making the pancakes for Aunt Jemima. You did it. Uncle Ben was probably the same type of guy in the rice patty, and they all did all this stuff. It's like over and over and over again. And in 2026, we're still doing it. But they don't understand where it's like, yeah, no, y'all are still trying to hold folk back for real.
I mean, there's a special legion of demons that gives white people so much energy to try to take from other people.
Yeah.
Because here you are, you have this guy helping your business, and instead of being grateful and making sure he gets a bigger piece for contributing to your business willingly, you're trying to steal from him.
Yeah. They thought after everybody started talking about it, they bought him a Mercedes and all that stuff, sent him home, and it's like, no, buy him a Mercedes, yeah, you should do that too. However, give him some stock. Give him some stock and ownership. And there's a lawyer that they're saying, oh yeah, he does have ownership, and it's like, no, motherfucker, we saw the paperwork. You think we're not looking up the paperwork for the patents? He don't have no ownership. It's you and your wife on everything. You don't even have him on the papers. So it's like, yeah, like you said, special energy.
That gives them the energy and the thought that they can do that, and that's okay. Because he should have gone into business with this guy when he figured out that the guy's stuff was so good.
Yeah.
And people were coming for the gumbo. So we go into business together.
For every pot of gumbo we sell, this is what you're gonna get off the gumbo.
Right. Or yeah. Or we just put you in the whole lump with you have this part of the business, this certain percentage of the business.
Yeah.
Without having to put any money stake in it, I give you this percentage of the business. Unless you have saved money that you want to invest in the business, then it would be a different percentage.
Right.
Look at it like business is business. Don't try to rob from this man. Kayla offered to do something for you.
They didn't have to.
Special place in hell for them to sit there and act like that somehow that was okay.
Yeah, because now they're going they're like basically on some stuff where it's like, yeah, you can go anywhere at this point. He's so viral, he can go anywhere and build up any business with the same attitude, and everybody would be like, so to try to mess him over like that and then be like, oh yeah, we don't need you for real, this is our business, is like, you guys this is that same thing. This is the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah, we used you enough. Bye, old man, and we're gonna keep it moving. It's like, no, he could go anywhere. I could start an ice cream stand tomorrow with that same guy, and we would go viral every day selling Breyer's ice cream and cones that we were putting together.
He's got an attitude that draws people, and you treat him like a house nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, what makes you think you can do that? Anybody, whatever color they would be, if you would rob from this man who is contributing to your business, like he's contributing to your business, like I said, he might not have had the money outright to go ahead and open his own business, but for being a hit online, on the internet, he could have.
Yeah.
He chose to help your business, and you mistreat him like that?
True.
You don't deserve nothing, and they should sue him not only for trying to trademark him, but for a lot of the money that he contributed to the business.
Yeah, because at that point you're trying to trademark.
You're selling his gumbo and his oxtail and his barbecue.
Yeah. Because he's trying to claim that he came up with the recipes later on, and it's like for the barbecue, and it's like, that's cool, but you wouldn't be selling food at all if it wasn't for this man. Yeah.
Snackies. Okay, eat your snackies before you have to brush your teeth to go to bed.
Okay.
Why can't you open it?
I don't know. You need to open it.
You need to open it. You see the little place? You can do it too. See that?
I don't
Look
know
at
how
that.
to do it either.
Look.
What is it?
There's a little mark right there. You just rip it there. Y'all hands are stronger than mine. Sit down and eat it.
Okay, I'm gonna put it.
Don't drop the candy. Or the...
Whoa! I
take these. What's Scott Bale?
It kind of looks like him.
Doesn't it look like Scott Bale?
Mm-hmm.
Last playoff games tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at this lineup. Patriots won, but it was such a sloppy game on both sides. It was so sloppy. They're lucky they won. They can't beat Seattle. I really feel like Seattle's at the top of their game, and they're so neat, and they're executing so. I don't think anybody can beat Seattle. I don't know if Patriots could pull it off in Mile High Stadium. I don't think they can. They've never have before. So it would be Broncos anyway.
Yeah.
But it was such a sloppy game because all the Patriots fans over there where I'm working are out there. Yeah, we can do this. You can't beat the Broncos. You can't do it. Yeah, but they do somehow have the design to do that. But for whatever reason, they're not going to beat the Broncos. Nobody beats them.
The Broncos are good, man. They've always been good. Especially the last few years they've been on. But yeah, like, I don't know. The Patriots look good this year too, but I don't see it happening.
Barely squeaked by. They had so many takeaways in that game. Everybody's counting on me, but so many interceptions. Like I said, the only reason y'all won is they were sloppier than you were.
Yeah.
Very, very sloppy game.
Opening in the app. Hold on. I had to open this in the app so I could play it on the screen. Somebody just sent me a video.
Fuck up, man. I know you ain't sleep, bro. That's the shit I be talking about, bro. How the fuck you bring it up? But your ass sleep.
Early in the morning, I swear hit me when what's up? It's Bread Up Radio, and I appreciate y'all tuning in on another Friday. Hope everybody had a beautiful week. Hope everybody enjoyed themselves. And I thank everybody who tapped in to check out the show. I appreciate it. I love y'all. This Appreciation Week, huh? I remember them late nights. Thank God for them late nights. Thank God that I shot and missed. Lord knows it was plain sight. Lord knows it was point blank. Lord knows I deserved it. Finesse that nigga week ago. I go left just to stay right. I've been getting too high lately. Crazy thing is I hate heights. Can't remember half of my catalog and thinking it was stayed right. They told you they were worth something. Shit niggas with a fake price. Bread up shit priceless. And that price is a great price. Yeah. Like a mob, ballin' like a legend Kobe. You're LeBron, yeah. We ain't had no cable. I was ballin' in the lawn, yeah. Make sure that they pay you see that money in your palm first. Bitch, I got my hustle from my daddy and my mom work. I let my nightmares go, waking up in cold sweats. I let that jail life go, swear I won't go back. I never sell my soul, I'd rather be dead broke. Pussy, that money, call that money, huh? Early in the morning, I swear it hit me when I'm yawning. I can hear the money calling. Breakfast time, money hungry. Early in the morning.
This is
I swear it hit me when I'm yawning. I can hear the money calling. Breakfast time, money hungry. What's up, what's up, what's up? And this is Bread Up Radio. I appreciate y'all tuning in. And I'm the host. My name is Bread Up Rich. And as always, you can follow me at Bread Up Rich on Instagram, and on YouTube it's at Bread Up Rich Official. Yeah, and I appreciate y'all tuning in for another Friday, man. And I'm blessed to be able to be in episode 3, and that's why I wanted to call it Appreciation Week, because really when I first started the idea for doing a podcast, I was nervous. I was terrified, but I knew there was something that I wanted to do. So, and I just continue to focus on that and do what I had to do my research, and just work as much as I can to make sure that I could better my show each time. But there was plenty of times where I said to myself, like, man, fuck this shit. I can't do this shit no more. You know what I mean? It was like every week something different happened. It was kind of nerve-wracking to me. You know what I'm saying? To make me want to quit. And I'm thankful that it's people like you and everybody who supported it. It was y'all who really kept me pushing forward. Times when I should have had an episode ready, and y'all were like, man, where's that? And it just let me know that y'all were really locked in. Y'all really focused on this, and I appreciate that. As I said, man, I'm giving out opportunities to win free merch, and as you can see, this is what we're working with right here. I got one on too as well. These are about to go on deck in just a little while. You know what I mean? Bread Up Apparel, kicking that off, and I'm trying to make sure, man, that just support. That's all we're looking for, support. And I'm gonna keep them shit. I got a lot of different designs on the way, but this is the first one. This is the first one for the relaunch of Bread Up Apparel that we rocking with. So if y'all fuck with it, you know what I mean, it'll be on deck tomorrow. You can DM me at Bread Up Rich or at Bread Up Apparel, whichever one you want to. If you see me out and you want a shirt, you want a cop, I mean, get it. We appreciate it. But today on this episode, I'm giving you a chance to win. A chance to win. And like I said, my clues were in previous episodes on YouTube, episode 1 and episode 2, there are questions that you would have got even if you just watched the first 5 minutes of it. So if you want to win it, hit me up. Know what I mean? Thank you everybody for tuning in live. I'm gonna hit y'all with another song real quick. You know what I mean? And also, look, I got some special guests here too. So y'all please stay put. And this song right here, it's called All Me by me. But y'all rock with it. Y'all rock with that shit. Let me know what y'all think. Thank you everybody for checking out the live. I appreciate it. Let me know what y'all think on this one. This one's called All Me. I've been up for like 4 days, ain't sleeping, waiting since Tuesday. No hair brush, no shade, keep the currency moving. Baby mom's in a new crib, sweating kids getting too grown. Money running like 8 race, pass blunts like footballs, running back like football. Money stack 4 foot on, in the leg getting sucked off. Yo bitch with no draws, send a hoe with no walls. Back pain in her soul jaw, she came to me with trust issues that left me when I broke hard. I hustle hard like a star. Give nothing but 8 bucks, just came home in my wake up. Money all in my taste buds, sick and tired of being dead broke. Might as well be broke dead. I probably still chase money in a wheelchair, but you broke legs, goddamn. My cash stacking, crack it till my tax bracket. You decide to just pass wretched. Only time you can pass average. AK on my nightstand, subtract man and do mathematics. Bitch think shit all show, make this bitch sound like tap dance. To my hustle they call me. Yes I get money, that's all me. Yes I get money, that's all me. Yes I get money, that's all me. People wait if you didn't want me. Never get money, that's all me. Never get money, that's all me. Never get money, that's all me. Money fast like highways. Living proof that crime pays. I'm on my off days. I'm on my off days. Bitch, my hustle they call me. Yes I get money, that's all me. Yes I get money, that's all me. Never get money, that's all me. Like I said, this is Bread Up. This is Bread Up Radio, and this is Appreciation Week. We're in week 3, and I appreciate y'all for continuing to fuck with this show for real, and continue to keep pushing me and continue to you know what I mean, to keep this shit moving. And I appreciate the support, because I always say this thing can only get as big with anything that you do. It only can get as big as the people who support you along the way. So I appreciate the support. Now, my first chance to get for y'all to win right now, some free merch. How do you be a part of this giveaway? All right, that's a perfect question. I appreciate you asking that. If you would like to be a part of this giveaway, I'm going to present the first question right now. And the first question right now was, see, you wasn't even here. You wasn't even here when I started this. But the answer to the question is, what was the name of the song that I just played? Just now. I said it in the beginning. Yeah, until I can, if you got an answer to that, you can put it in the comments. You know what I mean? And the first one that can get the answer to that will be the one who gets it. You know what I mean? But yeah, fuck with it. Like I said, Appreciation Week, and what I want to do while we're waiting for, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have more opportunities too. Just stay locked in. But I definitely appreciate you wanting to be a part of this. You know what I mean? Because I would have looked crazy if you ain't want nobody trying to be a part of this. But yeah, like I said, this is Appreciation Week, and I'm just showing appreciation to the people who supported this, who followed this, who helped to keep my head straight when I was trying to give up on this. You know what I mean? And that's why I wanted to bring two special guests who are a big part of a lot of what I'm doing right now. And I got them in here right now, and I didn't even reveal really who it was, but I'm glad y'all got the chance to meet them, and I'm glad that they are here to be a part of this. You know what I'm saying? So first, I want to bring my first guest to the show right now, to Bread Up Radio. And my first guest is someone that I met by hosting an open mic, just looking for places to perform after we came off of, after we got to the point that we were able to go do anything, do a little bit of something from this quarantine shit. You know what I mean? And this guy has open mics every Wednesday. I checked it out. I loved it. I loved the atmosphere, and he became also more than just a friend to me. Became a brother, because a lot of times when I did want to give up, a lot of times when I did want to quit, he was the one that was saying, you know what I mean? When you feel like you want to give up, it's when you should continue to go do shit. So without further ado, man, I want to bring my first guest up right now.
Brett Up said we should skip to 30 minutes. Brett Up said he wants us to see 30 minutes. I was kind of interested in seeing what Broadway was talking about.
I can see one right here.
I might wear this Wednesday night.
Hell yeah, man. Support local businesses, by the way.
Play that shit on TNT.
And this song right here is called Crazy. It was engineered by Alan Mike with the Fuego. And the video is available on YouTube right now too. And you can find that. The link is in my bio at Bread Up Rich Official. And that video was shot by B1 Prodigy from Prodigy Visuals. Let me know what y'all think, huh?
I swear there's so much going on in my world, I'm surprised that I ain't broke down and gone crazy. Trying to maintain, but not for everything is going against me. I missed the message, I was too broke to pay attention. Bitch, I came up from the gutter, I want some grown shit. I got my stripes from the struggle, I wear my own shit. I remember I was stopping, I was homeless. Searching for something that would only leave me lonely. I call all my niggas, my brothers got no homies. I give respect to my OGs, but I'm no flunky. Most of my business, they in jail or they joking. I know the streets want me.
Y'all this live, I appreciate y'all rocking with the live, man. Now I'm saying, I've got a very special guest for y'all coming up next too. Tell y'all two special guests. I appreciate y'all fucking with it right now. Bread Up Radio.
Just like a child, you crazy. I've been there, and that just make me never ever have to get there. Cause I don't wanna go crazy.
If y'all interested in wearing one of these right now, because they're going on sale tomorrow. If you're interested in one of these right now, I'm giving it away for free. If you can tell me. Yeah, that song right there was called Crazy. Like I said, that was engineered by Alan Mike with the Fuego at Fuego Studios in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And the video is on Instagram right now. I mean on YouTube right now. Bread Up shit, that ain't even on my shit. You can check the link in the bio of Bread Up Rich. But it's on Prodigy Visuals YouTube channel, shot by B1 Prodigy. Now, I got another special guest that's coming through, and I wanted to bring him here on Appreciation Week because, really, man, I think that I wouldn't have even been able to try some of the type of things that I do try that Broadway would say that blows people's minds because they don't know what direction I'm coming from. This guy right here, man, has really been instrumental in my sound, in my musical growth as well. Shout out to Sierra Jones. Appreciate you checking in too. Yeah, man, without further ado, man, I want to welcome Alan Mike with the Fuego, man. What's happening, bro? Oh, they got you in the trailer. Hell yeah, man. Like I said, man, when y'all hearing the song down at the open mics, or if y'all checking out my YouTube videos, we started out with Motivation in the beginning song. All Me was after that. And I played these for a reason. And I was kind of leery about playing my own music because I didn't want people to think I was just trying to play my own shit. But I played it for a reason because let me turn this over there. They don't need to see me. You know what I'm saying? What's up? So this guy right here is the guy behind the sound right here. Nah, man, Alan Mike with the Fuego, man. Tell them how you can follow you.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram. That's, you know what I'm saying, your best bet. At Alan Mike with the Fuego. And that's, I ain't even finna spell it out because it's long as shit. You know what I'm saying?
But by the time you type in Alan Mike, they'll probably tell you.
Yeah, it'll pop up. You'll see the you know what I'm saying, the logo with the eyes bloodshot eyes. You'll see it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So you're operating out of Fredericksburg, Virginia. Well, actually, that's considered. I'm still getting new to what's Fredericksburg, what's this and what's that. But
yeah, it's a little closer to Spotsy, but I consider Fredericksburg. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. That's what I represent at the end of the day. Because that's where it's happening at.
Hell yeah. So how long have you been in the engineering game?
Shit, I've been engineering like every day since like I would say late 2018. Yeah, but that's every single day. But I've been making beats, shit, like since I don't know about like 8 years, but on and off type shit. You know what I'm saying? That's more like fun.
Hell yeah. Then when you began, you actually were doing a lot of rap, of course everybody raps right now. You do a lot of rap, but you also started out as a R&B engineer, right?
Yeah, for sure, like R&B
producer actually.
Yeah, all of that for sure. Yeah, it just happened that way. You know what I'm saying? I didn't choose it. It kind of just chose me, but it taught me a lot on how to chop up vocals and deal with a lot of layers. Because singers be putting down all types of layers, you know what I'm saying, to make it sound sweet.
Hell yeah.
So I got to do my part, you know what I'm saying, make sure it comes in and all that, and you hear everything, you know what I'm saying.
And I like to mention that because, and there's no disrespect to any studio situation. I mean, every engineer has their own sound. Every producer has their own sound. But what I do like about, because when I met you, I was a rapper, and I was asking you how loud can I get in your studio, you know what I mean? Because you know I be shit, you know what I'm saying? But and then I end up coming one day and you loaded up a beat, like, I started to sing, you know what I mean? And I don't have the best voice in the world by any means. I tell everybody that I would have never even tried to do any singing if it wasn't for you. And it wasn't so much of me. You know, I come in there thinking, oh yeah. In my head it sounds good when I sing it to myself. And then I get in there, I'm all off key and shit. One thing about you is that you would tell me to stop smoking. You would tell me to stop drinking the alcohol. You would give me a water. And you really will work the shit out of me as far as to make sure that my vocals are on point. And I could tell that you have been doing R&B production because, you know what I mean? Like, it's a whole different experience with that.
It is. It's work. Like, it's a lot more work. Definitely on the artist, if you're transitioning from rap to kind of sing rap, you know what I mean? It's definitely like a lot more work than just spitting the bars and shit like that. Yeah. But you can also go about it the same way too. Like I'm really good at like punching is what I call it, where you just say a few bars and stop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's your best bet because at the end of the day, your breath takes away. You know what I'm saying?
You know, and I like that when I came into your studio the first time. Some engineers haven't came across artists because a lot of artists still think that the only way to record music is to write a whole damn song, read the whole fucking verse. That's the first verse. Do a couple ad-libs, then do the second verse. The artist like myself who comes in that bitch and trying to piece some shit together, I mean, you knew right off the bat what it is. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's just a good way to record, honestly. Like, if you're not doing it, try it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because breath is very important. Because sometimes the difference between you having a hot ass punchline bar is your delivery. Yeah. And the delivery is only gonna be as strong as the amount of air that you got in your lungs when you're trying to get that shit out.
Yes,
You
sir.
know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. So yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just doing it, you know, getting it done right. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you want clarity. Like, your fans, they want to hear you. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether you sing, whether you rap, whatever. Like, you just want clarity all the way around, and people gonna feel you. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's very important to get your recordings right and make sure you sound ultimately good. You know what I'm saying?
And I remember when I first started recording with you, it was like 2 years ago, and I mean, it like on a consistent level.
Oh yeah.
Most of my catalog was recorded with you. You know what I mean? And shit, when I first started, shit, what the fuck was I about to say? You know what I'm saying? No, when I first, damn, I really did forget what the fuck I was about to say.
Damn.
Oh yeah, when I first started, my bad, I apologize to everybody. When I first started recording with you, the first thing that you asked when you uploaded the beat was, do you need auto-tune? And I used to always say, hell no, I don't fuck with auto-tune. I'm 35, I don't fuck with auto-tune. However I sound is how I sound. And I never used it. Even when my old partner was using that shit on his shit, I wouldn't use that shit because I was like, on some Jay-Z shit, that's auto-tune. But then I started. I think the first time I tried it was the song called Worth It.
Yeah.
And was it worth it? I think that was the first time I did try to sing. And then I think Girls Just Wanna Have Fun was probably the second.
I think there was one more in the cut. You know what I'm saying? If I had my laptop right here, I'd show you.
It might have
But there's one more in the cut. That's fire too. I think you're sleeping on it.
Actually, that blues song that I was talking about that I was recording, I started recording that with him too. I never got that one finished either. But one thing that I learned with you when I did start trying to use auto-tune was that I thought, like a lot of people, auto-tune was a matter of, even if I suck, I'm gonna go ahead and it's gonna make me sound good, And I learned that wasn't the case, because the more notes that I hit off key or the more vibrato I try to put in my voice, it makes me sound like a damn robot. You know what I'm saying? and you taught me like the best way to make it sound more natural is to hit the notes, even if it's on auto-tune. Get as close to the note as you can get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Within your range.
Within your range. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a lot. And we'll even sit there and I'll try. He'll cut the beat on, go off to do him. I found out what he really does. When he goes off to do him, nigga be shooting buckets. You know what I'm saying? But
gotta make sure I'm ready. You know what I'm saying?
But when he leaves. And even then, you showed me something else. You mentioned something about doing the same lines over and over again. And a lot of times when I do sing, I'm singing each line about 4 or 5 times. You know what I'm saying? And then you go break that shit down and take each damn word, which out of the 5 takes, anytime that I hit just right, you're gonna splice that shit up. But it's dope. It's dope as hell. You know what I mean? How what really got you into fucking with art? Because that has been known. If anybody who's recorded with Outlet Mike, you would know that his trademark is the auto-tune. Like that is trademark as far as that's his shit. But in the DMV, niggas know we're coming to you, we're getting crisp ass tune. You know what I'm saying? Straight. And how did you get to the point? Because even a lot of artists that don't know how to use that shit. Right. But you were making shit sound natural as hell.
Oh you know definitely. And honestly, it's just over time. Like when I first even encountered the auto-tune, I was working, like at this time I was doing beats. And I was working at another studio that was in downtown. This was like 2017 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was working closely with an audio engineer there. And he actually like ended up stopped doing this or whatever. But we would team up on some songs. Like he would use my ears, like, yo, you think this sounds right? You know what I'm saying? Type stuff. So I would literally watch him, but not really know what's going on.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Until I figured out that I could use my program to record people. So, and then that's another thing. Like I don't use Pro Tools. I use FL Studio.
And people, and a lot of people who believe that Pro Tools is like the holy grail of recording. And they would look down upon Frugal Studio.
Yeah, for sure. But it's at the end of the day, it's
Sit down before y'all go to bed. Y'all got like 10 minutes before it's bedtime.
Like,
might as well watch the show.
You know your program.
Because I would say, and I'm performing down in the open mic with Broadway Harris every week, and people always talk about the clarity and the volume. How when they play us in them live speakers, that shit is hitting. And it's making people think like, damn, we in a fucking, even if it's a small room, it sounds stadium. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, man, would you mind if I do take the time to play? Because I want to play Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Oh yeah, play that joint.
I want to play Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
That joint is definitely different.
Because I want to play that because a lot of people have heard me, they hear the growl and all that stuff. Nobody has heard Girls Just Want to Have Fun unless you come down to the open mic.
Right.
So I do want to play it one time while I got you here because we really fucking worked on this junk. We really fucking worked on this bitch. You know what I'm saying? And I just want y'all to hear how you can take and turn that shit into some crisp ass singing, man. You know what I mean? Hell yeah. This shit right here is hot as a bitch.
Layer the music.
This shit hot as a bitch right here. Radio shit. Yeah.
I ain't never seen you before, but you got my interest, babe. The way you walking across the room, I pray you find
as many times as Brett has talked about this song, I didn't expect it to sound like this.
the way that every man wants you. Still you act like you don't need them. Refusing every man's dream, but you say you can buy your own. You're out with your girlfriend, so baby, if you act flirtatious, babe. Tonight you're walking on the moon. Can I hold you when you're done? Girls just wanna have fun. Girls just wanna, girls just wanna have fun. Girls just wanna have fun. No commitment, ain't looking for no man. Sometimes girls just wanna have fun. No. I don't wanna rush your flow, but you got something special, baby. Every man wants that home. Can I hold you and dance until the music is our own? Am I moving too fast? Girl, I know you're independent, deal with stresses every day. Allison jobs and plus 2 kids and being approached from every way. Tonight you're walking on the moon. Can I hold you when you're done? Girls just wanna have fun. Girls just wanna, girls just wanna have fun. Girls just wanna, girls just wanna have fun. No commitment, ain't looking for no man. Sometimes girls just wanna have fun. Girls just wanna have fun. Girls just wanna.
That beat was way different than I thought it was gonna be when I heard him talk about it. All right, Brett up Bieber. All right, Brett up Bieber. That's a good segue for me to go to Juan shit though. Juan asked me to play. Sir Juan asked me to play his song, "The Misery Invite." So hold on, I gotta switch screens so y'all can see this. All right, Brett up Bieber. I didn't know you was doing shit like that. Brett up Bieber. I didn't expect that. Greta Bieber on there, motherfucker. Who would have known? The motherfucker was on there sounding like he was at Diddy's house. Recorded in the basement. That shit was fire though. That shit was fire. But this is Sir Juan. Misery invite. He asked for y'all to hear this, and we're gonna play it for you. Yeah.
Don't make me trip, I get all in my luggage like fuck it, you hating, I love it. You can't get nothing from me, you ain't struggle with me, told you my time was coming. Now that I got it jumping, it's really no secret what these niggas want from me. No secret what these bitches want from me. Misery loves company. Now don't make me trip, I get all in my luggage like fuck it, you hating, I love it. You can't get nothing from me, you ain't struggle with me, told you my time was coming. Now that I got it jumping, it's really no secret what these niggas want from me. No secret what these bitches want from me. Misery loves company. Now back it up, shorty, don't front on me. I know you only want funds from me. I know you just having fun with me. No need to say you in love with me. That's a dub for me. Shots to the head in your memory. I thank the Lord for protecting my energy, keeping me far from the enemy. I know these haters wanna see the end of me. Take off the top like a Kennedy. Fuck what they say. Watch the tendencies. You couldn't mimic me. Learning the word.
It's crazy.
And like you only get what you deserve. Put in the work. Show them your worth. You better speak up. You wanna be heard. Now it's my turn. Little baby, I got something to prove till I'm put in the dirt. Now don't make me trip. I get all in my luggage like fuck it, you hating, I love it. You can't get nothing from me, you ain't struggle with me, told you my time was coming. Now that I got it jumping, it's really no secret what these niggas want from me. No secret what these bitches want from me. Misery loves company. Now don't make me trip, I get all in my luggage like fuck it, you hating, I love it. You can't get nothing from me, you ain't struggle with me, told you my time was coming. Now that I got it jumping, it's really no secret what these niggas want from me. No secret what these bitches want from me. Misery loves company.
When you can't agree on what to order or you're settling for whatever, mealtime can be a major... That's where Wonder comes in. Download the app for access to everything you're craving. Mix and match hundreds of freshly prepared dishes from menus by renowned chefs, delivered in one order. Say goodbye to compromise. From poke bowls to filet mignon, it's all on Wonder. Order fast, free delivery, or pick up and dine in at a Wonder location near you. Wonder, the cravings expert. Get the app today.
Oh shit. If y'all could only see what I was seeing.
You know who you rockin' with. You know this. Let me hear who that asking about me? Tell him I've been where I'm supposed to be. Business first, working doubles, trying to triple what I'm seeing. This why I don't smoke with niggas. Boy, you hot, think you a threat. Want forever, got an hour.
Alright, so like I told you guys, I'm not a hater, man. I was on the live last time and we were talking about listening to a certain artist's music, giving it a chance. I'm not a hater, so I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna give it a chance. Here we go, right here. Let's see what this guy Dev Soul is talking about. See what he's got. Dev Soul, y'all. Dev Soul. Devonish Swarma. Dev Soul. Let's see what he's talking about, y'all. Dev Soul. Dev Soul, y'all. Dev Soul. Hey man, we're not giving this man enough credit, man. This is a hot record. Yeah. You see it? That's Dev Soul, right? It say Dev Soul, man. They telling me it's not Dev Soul. It look like Dev Soul to me, man. Maybe we looking at the wrong song, man. Hold on, let's go to the next song. Let's see what Dev got.
Smashed my headlight. We worried we'd have to fight to get paid for such a small plant.
And life would revolve around the shopping cart.
Let's see what Dev got, man. This guy, he's got some fire so far. I don't really usually listen to Bollywood, but this is tough. If I knew this was him, I wouldn't have won that. This is the best. If this motherfucker is in Fredericksburg, he might be the best artist overall in Fredericksburg. For real, I don't know, man. We wasn't trolling, man. My bad, bro. My bad, man. You got some shit, bro. This is it right here. This is crossover music if I've ever seen it. This is like global. You could go global with this stuff. Dev Soul, y'all. Dev Soul. One of the toughest guys in Fredericksburg. Dev Soul, y'all. Dev fucking Soul. My bad, man. I ain't mean to do that, man. I ain't mean to. Whatever argument we had, don't fuck me up around the corner right now. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, man. Don't try to fuck me up around the corner right now. But we're gonna go to this again. I've reacted to this one before, but we're gonna react again.
You know, right here lately.
Yo.
I just been focused on like three things.
What up?
Handling my own business.
Yeah, it is. It's the name. But it's straight Bollywood music, juice. Don't fuck me up around the corner right now. That was crazy because that's the first thing that popped up and I didn't see nothing else. So I'm like, I don't know where to find it. I ain't gonna look that hard.
I know I've been gone for a minute, but it's weighing on my conscience. They waiting on me to return Dwayne Johnson. This ain't wrestling, but I'm better. But if I'm lying, it ain't prevalent. Cleaning out my closet, but I still ain't found
It's that song.
Ain't perfect, but I'm doing excellent considering a black man is stifled by the government. And I'm developing, cause you know my ego's a little delicate, but little juice nice, don't insult my
Intelligence. I ain't got time today, so things don't bother me. I'm trying to stay out the way.
I'm on my grind for pay,
And I got more rhymes to say. Trying to stay out the way.
I ain't got time today, so
Things don't bother me. I'm trying to stay out the way.
I'm on my grind for pay,
And I got more
rhymes to say. You better stay out the way. Just cause they rhyme to a beat,
It's hip hop.
they don't practice what they preach.
Things it's not.
Distracted from the fact they don't say
Things
shit
in they raps.
They claim to stand
10 flat when ain't no spine in they back.
Sure, we wanna support good business when we know that it's black, but don't orbit my solar system
If your soul ain't intact,
complicit
it's not a
bitches. This business is so vindictive. Your bigoted narcissism be predicting
the crash.
Matter of fact, it's been too long since I spazzed. They know Nexus, that Anunnaki nigga honing his craft. Then he sits on the highest council with one foot up your ass. The other one's up on the dash, all gas, no break. I gotta keep something that's up in the stash, yeah, that's all day. Like riding a roller coaster while you rolling a jet. We make music to motivate, you just be making mistakes. You ain't willing to ruffle feathers.
Yeah, it did sound nice.
I ain't got time today, so please don't bother me. I'm trying to stay out the way. I'm on my grind for pay, and I got more rhymes to say. You better stay out the way.
Is that Chief in the back?
I got time today, so please don't bother me. I'm trying to stay
Who's the
out
white
the
boy?
way. I'm on my grind for pay, and I got more
Oh,
rhymes
word,
to say.
word.
You better stay out the way.
That's his son with him? Oh, okay. I didn't know that the whole time. That makes that even more fire. Ghost at? I gotta get Ghost on here. I gotta slide Ghost on here. Paper Chaser. Paper Chaser? Like the Kevin Gates jump? Like the Kevin Gates jump? There we go. With the Labubu? This him with the Labubu as the picture?
Match with a local TurboTax expert at our new in-person locations. They're specialized in your unique tax.
I like that beat.
From the time I picked up a pen, I knew I was him. Anorexia, it was on the wrist, yeah, them times were slim. Slim as Jim, mama made a way, told me don't delay. With this life shit, ain't no playing your face. Fuck with that display, watching them make shit happen like magic. Tell me to get it or this could be tragic. Ripping out hearts like they wrapped in plastic. Got me reading niggas like the scholastic. Most bitch niggas come with dramatics. Stand firm, nigga, that's automatic. Stretch bread like that shit is elastic.
Right.
I flip like gymnastics. Hopping up on shit. Tryna get dope quick. I know some niggas talk, they on some hoe shit. I wanna pull up on up solo, leaving no evidence. They went to war, so I get my war, that's even the medic hit. Having a paper chaser, speeding through life, I'm a racer.
Yeah.
Brick like a razor, hacker through hearts like a pacer. Hella like a mama, bitch, I'm a Laker. Taste situations, I'm trying to shake us. Flip of a switch, we overpower shit, my niggas, we breakers. High stepping over low, bullet, never ever falling, no hope, niggas. No matter how they coming at me, I gon' get it committed like dope hitters. Cut it pack, I'm under tote, niggas. Go flip a boat and blow, niggas. Always aim for the moon, bitch. Yeah, I've been with the stars, I'm a sky splitter. Red RZA, ready to mob up. People how they look when I rise up. Spread that, get the game right. Tell them dumb dumbs they should wise up. 4 on the back, and in front of that, cause we gon' lag and cut the cameras, cause the face of the yak. Then we shooting paper, cause chasing is backwards.
Is that
I'm scared. I'm trying to pick an auto joint that I think is gonna have a song that, because last time I played auto shit on here, I got flagged, and it was like Future's beat, and I'm like, damn. Future and Metro Boomin. What the fuck? Panic at the Go-Go's always a good one. Oh, hold on. I'm going to play this one. I'm not going to play that one. Yeah, he's nice. What up, Nexus? Not much. No. Yeah. Don't get to me talking too much shit on here because I'm on Twitch. I already troll enough people. I don't need to. Stay out of the way.
I'm the devil now, devil.
He got a couple Bollywood jumps, man. Yeah. Hey, no, what I said, You got to look at the stream to understand. It's some Indian dude that got the same name as him, and I couldn't find him.
Niggas fear God, but they'll try to play the
So I just played the records from the Indian dude.
Praying just to level out. Lucy Ford, temper blow. I'm the devil now.
Devatash Korma.
You ever seen him in some sneakers? 47 hat, hood pull, blowing reefer.
Red sweatpants, promise I know him when I see him. He said, I'm a
heard about him from the pastor and the deacon. Pale moonlight, hear him hissing, hear him screaming. Went down to Georgia and played my fiddle for some demons. Archangels looking Tyson. I'm not really what I'm seeming. Some like it hot, I like it blazing, like it's steaming. New Jersey Devil, making plays like Willie Beeman. VA Blue Devil, but I'm shooting like arenas. Demon flames from hell can feel them all the way to Venus. Starting to feel at home.
Yeah,
when
it's night, feel like it's freezing. Ooh, oh, you ain't sleeping. Oh, you ain't dreaming. Nightmares, heavy breathing, wound open, heavy bleeding. You won't make it past the evening. Sell your soul, meaning everything you scheming.
Make it happen for you. No vision, I'll add the caption for you. Cultivate your talent. Don't you hear me out here capping for you? Soon I'll be rapping for you. Reporting live from sunken place. Take your body, take your mind, take your face. Give it style, give it grace. After a while, you gon' place. Give you some money just in case. Sacrifice your family so they don't say you changed. Copying God voice so they don't say it's strange. And hit my, my devil man dance, Satan. Devil man dance, want your soul, baby, I'm waiting. Devil man dance, I'm from hell, this a vacation. Devil man dance, morning star illumination. I come to steal, kill, and destroy. Who grandma told you avoid. Praying for a baby boy, ain't trying to see a pride and joy. 6 feet with a soul void, fishing for your issue, passing tissues for your boy. At the wake, stay awake, niggas trying to take your place. Choppers on him, eat his face. You would think you on a plate, you gon' find them ice.
God damn, sir.
Delay, rearranging organs, staying like the feng shui. Judgment Day, we gon' rapture everybody today with something that'll make Diddy Bob and probably murder Mace. Rob him like, whoa, I heard he got it for the low. Won't catch me coming for the trees where they go.
All right, hold on. We're gonna double back for one. We're gonna double back for one, and we're gonna play a video.
I'm rocking with Crown Table. Certified. I had so much respect for you, it wasn't even funny. I would have started if it meant you would never be hungry. Follow your vision, your dreams, take trips out the country. Wanted the best for you, now all I want is the money. Oh, I knew you didn't have love for me back when you said you didn't knew you was up to something. Must have been colorblind, you showed me your true colors and I let you play me sucker. That's why you can't play me sucker.
What's wrong?
Damn, you had me fucked up.
Yeah.
Guess I really lucked up. Understand why I'm here counting up Benjamins with all my friends and we all throwing up different sets. Whoever said you could fuck with me, I hope they gave you a warning with the same breath. I'm like the illest one left. You gon' feel this in your chest. I'm Rocky running them steps. I understand if you need a second to collect yourself. Check yourself. Take a deep breath. I had so much respect for you, it wasn't even funny. I would have started if it meant you would never be hungry. Follow your vision, your dreams, take trips out the country. Wanted the best for you, now all I want is the money. Oh, keep it 100, no frontin', your jealousy, I ignore what they was telling me. That shit I'm on, know you smelling me. I get on any beat and catch a felony. You wanna be relevant so bad, it's so sad, I ain't gotta brag. You know son, too nice, more than the title, that's big facts. Like Christopher Wallace, stage name, change lanes, now nobody in my rear view. Now got me looking like Sue Young, push the button, I dare you. Look around, you scan who? Type of Sue, no sample. Though he caught up in a scandal. You couldn't walk in my
the espionage jump.
I had so much respect for you.
Hey, I got the hook. I finished the verse last night. I was thinking about it too.
Follow your vision, your dreams, take trips out the country.
I just wrote, my shit is like literally a big ass James Bond scheme. And the hook is hold on. You know how I said I wanted to hit some Frank Sinatra type shit on it. I was like, Grecian waters, Russian SMGs, killer women chase us overseas. You seduction bring you to your knees. M16, MI6 with carbon M16s. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I started mine. Golden gun shooter, boy. Tomorrow never dies. Living in the daylight, holding rods, golden eye. This for your eyes only. Live to learn to live and let die. They don't think the world's enough, but it ain't no time to die. Shorty of you to kill on Her Majesty's Secret Service. She say diamonds are forever. I just wonder if she's worth it. Just another spy who loves me. Goldfinger got it twerking. You only live twice. Now we champagne surfing. Casino Royale, baby. Welcome to the surface. If the sky falls, I'm a specter in the verses. Quantum of solace. Yeah. Yeah, I just walked through every James Bond movie ever. Yeah, that shit's gonna be tough. I told you Nexus, I said write some shit, and you gave me that thing. I'm like, I can't let Nexus do me like that. Right. Right. Hold on, what am I gonna play? Alright, man, let me stop joking and play dev shit for real. Hold on.
Seem like everybody got something to say. Everybody trying to bring me down. On the left, wanna be there, but for the fame. On the right, wanna be friends, but not support.
Yeah, this is definitely Skinny Luther right here.
And not support you.
I ain't never listened to it before.
I guess that's how it goes. Your homies not your homies anymore. Yeah. You real, you fake. If you fake, get the hell away from me.
They got leather pants on in this video.
Away from me. You real, you fake.
Right. Leather pants with the jacket, with the Letterman jacket, with one button, with the top button buttoned up and nothing else.
Now I'm on the wrong road. I gotta get it, I get by myself. Only me, I gotta keep it G. If you ain't with me, get away from my destiny. I was blind.
Who said, do you hear this nigga?
Back on my grind, yeah, it's time. I shouldn't be worried about nobody else but myself. Don't let it distract you.
Yeah, brother, I think that this is why he trying to turn into an R&B version.
Don't let it distract you from your dreams. I shouldn't let my feelings make me mindless. I'm on here for one purpose, but I can't find in my dream. That's what it is, my team.
Bread Up gotta put that Bread Up Bieber against this. Yeah, Bread Up could put Bread Up Bieber against this.
Realistic? Yeah.
And the pups too.
Yeah.
And the people are inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not destructive. The costumes are really good, don't you?
The people, like, they're... Marshall's going crazy.
That was tough. Oh, word. Hold on, let me mute my mic for the fucking stupid.
I've learned through the years
that life could be pain.
people with nothing to gain, but we
Yeah, it is.
We just trying to make $1 out of pennies and change. So let me
know if you feeling the same, man.
Cause I know some people got a lot of hurt in their heart. Got some people
dropping their guard and pulling their card.
No matter what you do, they always got a smart remark. If you ain't strong, it'll tear you apart.
How your Lexus feel? Rose in the hospital. How you think that mean Lexus feel?
Catch a case and
Your niggas a squeal.
He's a real grown man. Problems, nigga.
Up in my grill.
Man, I don't care about the niggas you shot. I don't care about you shopping. I don't
care about the shit that you bought.
I'd rather hear about you helping the
poor. He ain't going to the corner. Here's a military vet. He got surgery in the morning. I'm just being honest.
They watch what come out my mouth.
Like an orthodontist.
There's people to potentially change. My man Mo trying to move God-like and stay mentally sane. And I've been talking to Zane. He know that I got a full clip of rounds for Tennessee, but he know I be on bullshit. My niggas
right.
Game and y'all foul a lot. But life is pain, motherfucker.
So I smile a lot.
I've learned through the years
that life can be pain.
There's people with nothing to gain.
When that struggle is strain, you find $1 out of pennies and change. And let me know if you've been feeling the same, man.
Cause I know some people got a lot of hurt.
Hey, brother, this was the one right here, man.
It's that talk your shit season, live and direct.
Where is it at? I'm trying to get right to it. No disrespect.
But they can't say it with their chest. Pretty face, savage heart, and the hustle unmatched. She got these bitches dudes obsessed. And just in case y'all forgot, we co-signed it,
bitch, I get dumb with it, so dumb with it. I run a marathon with it, bitch, I'm long with it. Ain't no capping what I'm rapping, bitch, I'm all in it. So please don't send no shots at Rich unless you bartender, nigga. I'm a big dog, I do big dog shit. I don't try little cars, I do big boy whips. I ain't worried about your bars, cause your shit not lit. Bring it up, brick and mortar, built it brick by brick, huh? Yeah. Hey, bitch, I'm married to the money, bitch, I tongue kiss it.
Juan Julio Carter. Juan Julio Carter. Juan Julio Connections. Juan Julio Connections. We gotta get OZ in here somewhere. We gotta get OZ in here somewhere. It's a 17K production.
Shots, drug. Oh, shit. Wow. Look, I told that nigga be funny, man. Her love is sticky like honey, man. Keep me a rifle, I'm honey, man. Ben Frank, I'm a money man. Pull up on me, have a running, man. Ben Frank, I'm a honey man. They say I keep me a tool. She like the way that I do. Nigga be softer than Gucci. Kenny be rockin' the Gucci. She call me Big Papa and Coogee. I walk a mile, no booby. Ain't no flocker, this a flame. I'm going hot in the pain. Sean Kemp, this gon' bang. Randy Moss, I'm going top in the rain. Swear to these nigga be funny, man. I love it sticky like honey, man. I keep me a rifle, I'm honey, man. Ben Frank, I'm a money man. Pull up on me, have a running, man. Ben Frank.
I forgot about this junk. I forgot they used to do music together a lot. Him and Mike and Day.
Black boys. Let's get it. Let's get it.
They got the rifles in this shit and liquor and all that.
Jump out the Uber, yeah, jump out the coupe. 30 on me, but a nigga don't hoop. Always with the work, but don't go to school. We said fuck Lil Uzi like you the fool. Always chasing money, got a little fetish. Only fuck that bitch if she got good credit. If you get jammed up, boy, I know you talent. Ain't no broke nigga, yeah, like that bitch has it. Jump out the Uber, yeah, jump out the coupe. 30 on me, but a nigga don't hoop. Always with the work, but don't go to school. We said fuck Lil Uzi like you the fool. Always chasing money, got a little fetish. Only fuck that bitch if she got good credit. If you get jammed up, boy, I know you talent. Ain't no broke nigga, yeah, like that.
Man, I forgot how many. I'm looking at the daggone 17K videos. I'm like, I forgot how many videos WAP was shooting in the back. They were shooting back in the day. Right. Where's the joint? I'm trying to play one of these joints that's updated. I don't want to just play his old shit.
That's the word. I like this. Yeah. Yeah. Look. Minding my business, just stacking my end. I had to cut off a lot of fake friends. I've been here drunk with a bottle of gin. And most of these tough niggas all in pretend. They say that you hating and begging, but they don't want to tell your boy it been a hell of a year. I just want me some my jello, my dick. I just want to be whatever it is. Ain't no need for the fake. I want a bitch who a jerk like Jamaican.
What the fuck? What happened to that joint? Maserati Thotty. How the fuck? All right, we're gonna fall off the music for a second. I think we done played enough music to be real honest. Well, yep. What time is it? 10:30. All right, y'all. Well, this was another episode of 8090. Y'all, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. I will be on here back tomorrow, streaming for everybody that wants to see what's going on. We'll be on episode 57 tomorrow. So, everybody, thank you to my reoccurring one viewer that pops in. Thank you, my friend from California. They always be in here. I'm about to end it. You know how we do when we end it. We're gonna go to the loading screen and we're gonna play the song to play us out. Thanks. We'll be back on tomorrow.
He was a background dancer, dancing for the if you wanna
pull up, pull up, pull up. Just a chicken sandwich. Why you acting emotional, like a thug?
Why don't you pull up, pull up,
pull up, pull up?
Jog here, homie, go and get
Two steps in, Taco Bell best friend.
your reputation. We don't know you in the end. We don't know you, don't you?
Pull up.
See, man, it's a shame.
This plug.
Big church,
Lincoln, but he think he a thug. Don't do that. Gonna pull up. Young brother, bring a snack wrap. This should have hit. The kids in here dancing.
Unless you in the gym, young brother.
Listen for $1, brother, if you wanna holler.